Just waiting on GDP rate here for Q2, 3% versus 2.4 was the consensus there for the second quarter. 2.5 was the forecast, so comes in higher than expected again. 3%, 2% on the price index quarter over quarter. Again, that's an advanced reading for Q2 versus 2.8% expected there. GDP sales huge, 6.3%. versus 1.9% expected there. Again, an advanced number for Q2. ADP employment change out earlier this morning at 8:15. Also monstrous, 104,000 to the upside versus just a 20,000 print that was expected ahead of what is to come on Friday. Remember, non-farm payrolls coming out this time on Friday morning. Make sure you're with us. Coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, pending home sales. It's Wednesday, so we get some energy data at 10:30. And then the big one, of course, coming at 2 o'clock. Well, it's probably going to be 2:30 is the big one this afternoon. Nothing's going to happen at 2 o'clock. But the questions that Fed Chair Powell is going to be asked, and supposedly anyways, going to be quite exciting to watch. I think there's a lot to understand as far as what they think of this data. He keeps saying we're data dependent. Here's a little more data suggesting maybe they don't have to be in such a hurry here.
Yeah.
GDP higher than expected here.
And it's going to be interesting to see the comments this time, Brendo, because no dot plot, no economic projections this time around. So a lot is going to be made about what he says. Yep. And expected this time around possibly 2 dissents from other members. Bowman and Waller specifically. That'll be the first time, I believe, since 93 or 98, something like that, since that we've had 2 dissenting opinions on a rate decision. So it should be super interesting to keep an eye about what happens there. Lots to talk about today. Meta and Microsoft reporting. Make sure to catch that with us on the Market Recap Show. After the bell, NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom all getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. Very bullish on the AI sector. SoFi with an offering here, Brendo, down 7.5%. And oh boy, Novo Nordisk continues to slide. A different look, though, for Starbucks, up 5 3/4.
Yeah, good to see for Starbucks. SoFi, kind of interesting. After their earnings were seemingly better than expected, they come out with that offering. Not a good look this morning. Market doesn't like it. Here's the other kicker as far as the Fed is concerned. This is a quarterly number, but PCE prices, quarter over quarter, advanced number again for Q2. Downside here versus what was expected. So just 2.1% versus 2.9%. So again, we'll probably hear a lot of questions in relation to not only what's happening with GDP, but with PCE ahead of this non-farm payrolls number coming out on Friday, guys. We do get more jobs data coming up tomorrow with initial jobless claims as well. That weekly number has also been important. Whole bunch of earnings to get through as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. And ADP is probably not the... It's definitely a good number, but I don't think it's the prime thing that we're looking at for reliability when it comes to the job market. That said, it's still a good number. But I don't know, Sharif. They don't know, don't show, or don't care that Robinhood reports tonight, because I know it's not as big as Meta, it's not as big as Softy, but I promise you, there's probably a lot of people that are interested in this one today. But early on, it's Coinbase stealing the spotlight, because Coinbase teaming up with JP Morgan for access to be able to link up crypto and bank accounts. So they're up a percent. Oh, okay. There's a lot of news today out of the woodwork. So MRVL was already mentioned, a deal with a South Korean company there, and day 2 plays galore. Whether it's SoFi, whether it's PayPal. For a lot of people, if you're looking short continuation, you might be thinking something like a Novo Nordisk, and UNH as well. So there's a lot to look at today. So buckle up. We've got to be excited for it. I think the Fed, they're not going to do anything. So at 2:30, we'll see how many times Powell loses his cool. Well, he's not going to lose his cool, but I guarantee you, he's probably at this point where, like, deep down, like, he's got some frustration setting in. And like Sharif said, there's some dissenters this time. Like, not everybody's on board with not cutting here, and not just the president. So, we'll see how he toes that line. If there's any change in his tone, I'm not expecting any. I think it's data this, data that, and they're waiting on the labor market. So it's really about earnings as far as we're concerned. We get the biggest earnings today.
Yeah, we got pretty you know, smart move. I'm not going to say lucky because we talked about why we sold some SoFi yesterday. I mean, lucky that obviously they didn't drop the offering the day of the earnings, but it's pretty sad that they drop it the day after. And I mean, just looking over here at SoFi, and shout out to everybody that's trading Wingstop. Wingstop right now up 20% here. But there it is, man. We sold yesterday at 24 bucks. Our SoFi position, so we could buy it back here today 20 if we really like it. So I think that's going to be a decision that we're going to have to make at some point. But SoFi there on the offering drops back in, so not a great day there for SoFi today. But I think it still goes long, right? I mean, if we like the quarter, we like the story. It reminds me of WEBL, but WEBL made the move back up after offering and then is hit back down there to the downside. And yeah, I didn't even realize this was happening with MRVL again here today, but this is another, you know, the last two names that we bought were WEBL and MRVL. And MRVL down here, we talked about this yesterday, we're long in the 60s on this name, $64, now up to 83, and there goes MRVL right here, made its move on the sticky note today. So yeah, man, we're doing well here on the swing account, we're doing well here on our day trade accounts, and yeah, so far so good. There's the break right here that we've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this 80 marker, and there it goes. So up through the 50 period moving average, sorry, the 200 period moving average now goes MRVL. So that one we're pretty happy with on that performance. We bought it just before earnings right into here, and then now upside move as well for MRVL. So thanks, Randy, for the plums there. But yeah, so that's what's going on so far here today. Some upgrades on NVIDIA, some upgrades in AMD happening as well. So these names will be flying around one more time here. Market trying to figure it out. Randy, today we get both Canada and the United States interest rate announcements. So both expecting absolutely no movement on that. So yeah, as many, Canada hasn't changed in a while. I just wanted to, I think it's been 3 now in a row, no rate cuts for Canada. This is what we're expecting right here today. 97, almost 98% chance that there is no rate cut. So this is the current level that we're at. Even, I mean, I don't think I have to refresh it. Yeah, there it is there, 97.9. So yeah, we're gonna wait, 2 o'clock, that'll be happening. Will Randy be here around 2 o'clock is the question. Yes. Are you guys getting that delivery? Oh, yo, you're nice. What, are you still working on the desks? No. Platforms. Oh, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, because the desk I thought was pretty much done, so. Oh gosh, we got some platforms happening now?
Where are there gonna be platforms?
We've got to elevate you guys a little bit to replace the stage.
Oh, I thought we were gonna be all level. Oh, apparently that's muted. You have to turn it on.
Muted? That mic was ever muted?
Am I live?
I think you're live.
Yeah, woohoo.
Yeah, what are you building?
So we're building platforms because you guys are off the ground right now. That's why I'm kind of short. But yeah.
I thought that was changing. I thought we were going to be on the ground, so there would be no more platforms.
Because the news desk is as tall as it is.
Oh, okay.
It's about continuity, eye level. I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm told.
Gotcha.
Caught?
You get to build stuff.
Yeah,
I'll
build
take
stuff.
it, bro.
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, yeah, we're going through all the
sense.
changes around here. We got the floor has been done now, so now it's a matter of getting the painting all figured out over here.
The jet black everywhere.
Should be fun. Joe's back in the building. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
He's got a smile.
Everything was all right? Vegetable trays were all right? Oh, vegetable trays were not a hit.
Well, I'm shocked at that. It's surprising. Yeah. I mean, at most bachelor parties, that's the most exciting thing is when you see that.
I'm always wanting to see, like what kind of vegetables are there. The carrots, the cauliflower. I like cauliflower. Poor Joe. But anyways, Randy, Sharif and Joe back on the midday show, which rhymes, actually realized. All right, so yeah, Blue Jays got killed yesterday in the doubleheader to a weak Baltimore team. Like they're selling their players.
We got a good reliever though.
I know, thankfully. He's a good guy walked from one dugout to the other. I saw there. Yeah, this is what Wingstop is doing. I'm going to figure out what exactly, how many orders Ramin put through over the last couple of months, but. There it goes, man, right to the upside there. As I just kid about, Ramin's talked about this being her favorite stock. So, yeah, it had a beat-up movement. Now all the way up there, Wingstop. I have no idea what the earnings are like right there. But
we got Wingstop last time.
The wings are going right there. That's for sure. Why is everybody, who's in that chat there typing to me, or typing to all of us about Pan W? What? Okay.
Yeah, because they announced they're going to buy.
Oh, they're buying somebody, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, this is a good opportunity to buy.
It was $20 billion speculated.
Oh,
The deal.
Hey.
So it was a big chunk. That's a big enough chunk of change that you're going to drop a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was yesterday too, because yesterday
Yeah, it was yesterday. The news was yesterday. It was the rumor. Sorry, the rumor was yesterday. I didn't see anything confirmed yet.
Okay, yeah, so big time movement to the downside here for Palo Alto. Forget about that split to the downside.
Never mind. We do have details.
Okay.
So they're acquiring CyberArk. They're going to get.
Oh, CyberArk. Yeah.
There is some cash in the deal.
I did know about this.
It's 45 in cash and 220 in share, 220 per share of Palo Alto. So that's not a huge cash portion at all. $45 in cash.
This might be a decent buy down here. I mean, I really like Palo Alto. Buying best of breed stocks, always something to deal with. This is what it looks like on a more proper chart here, taking in consideration. Yes.
They dropped the
right.
buy.
Yeah, that's thanks. Sharif was just saying that, they just, and that's why I was calling this up. They had just made all-time highs. So yes, exactly. And that's why I'm saying, like, I like best of breed names. If we get something down here at a discount down here, you're at 185 today, right? Yeah, 183. Yeah. So you're actually down here below right now, the 200 period. You're getting Palo Alto at a discount back to April. And I love cybersecurity space right now. I think that's something that continues to work. I'm buying Palo Alto. I might just buy some right now. I feel no kind of ways. I'm going to buy Randy a couple shares of Palo Alto.
Ooh, thanks, Randy.
There.
Just a couple?
I think cybersecurity is a thing, right?
It has to be.
A little bit of a thing.
Talk to anybody in data, like especially when you're outsourcing all this AI stuff for a lot of companies. It's like, well,
why so low?
You have to protect customer data.
They have a Canadian CDR? I don't think so.
The one thing to keep in mind with deals like this, though, is that you will see on the day one, there's always that pressure. Technically, it's traded down twice because there was a rumor. So I say it's almost like it's a day two, but let it settle down a bit. But generally speaking, if not on the first, sometimes the second day you're looking for that bounce play on the acquired. But 90% of this, almost 90% of this deal is in stock. That's why, because we knew it was 20 billion, but you might have thought that it would be cash, but it's almost all stock, and that's going to weigh on. It's just going to weigh on it more heavily. But if you get some synergies out of it, obviously Cyber is going to be looking really good here. CyberArk, yeah, they're more or less where it was yesterday on the news. Actually, sometimes, they guess they got this one pretty right, because it's pretty much exactly after you announce the deal. Every now and then, it's exactly what the market decided to price it at. I always say this with caution, though. Don't assume that the arbors have it right when it's a rumor, because we've seen this before.
Arbors.
The deal. Yeah, the merger arbor.
No, I know. I like the name. That's all.
They're usually really good at what they do, but I've seen a few deals where it settles down here, and the next day they announce the terms, and it's like actually down from there, and you look like a chump because you thought it was going to be higher. Looks like they priced this one correct. I think you're going to get a value in a day or two. There might even be, if PanW goes down far enough today, you could see. Like if it does see that 180 again, it's already shown you a really good bounce. There might just be, it's not an SSR bounce play, but it's a similar principle at that kind of a low. Because it's just program selling. Like they sell it because the value's changed because they're dropping a bunch of cash. And they're using shares for the purchase. So that's just standard operating procedure. Usually you get a bounce.
Standard op. I really like. I like that opportunity to get some of that. We'll let it settle down. I mean, maybe this deal's not the greatest, and we can sort of, figure that out. But yeah, great call up there. Make sure you guys do get into the chat. I mean, that's the one thing that Neil and I, we try to pay attention to this as much as possible. Everybody does here. Joe, Sharif. I mean, the midday is huge in the chat as well. So get involved. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. It's a way to start to vote for some different stocks that we have throughout the day. We'll often have fun little polls that we put up. It's a good way to get in touch with Neil and myself, because as the market slows down a little bit, we tend to look there for some ideas. And I didn't even have Palo Alto on my radar, and here I am putting in a buy order now to buy some of this name. So yeah, I mean, get in the chat ASAP and let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think of everything, the market, what trade ideas you may have. We want to thank everybody for the continued super chats that we always getting. This Eddie Sarkeesian there yesterday.
Great job by Eddie in his trades too.
Oh yeah, he made 35 grand. I don't know. On Archon.
On Archon. convict
This guy's trading some
stock.
big-time shares over there, man.
Apparently.
I like
he
this
could have been
guy.
trading options. I think we sort of
Yeah,
figured
yeah.
that there's a decent chance.
You
he could have
didn't
been
mention
trading
what it
options.
was. Yeah.
I just want to point out one thing in the chat. It's always good to @ us to see if you want to tag us, but there's that thing happening. If you were here like a month ago, I think this happened before, everybody has these ats in front, so our names in the chat are a little different. Instead of like just my name, it's like @NeilTTV. So just make sure when you're tagging somebody, it's whatever it shows up as. If you're trying to tag Sean, just start typing. Don't just do what it was yesterday. You're going to want to tag it as what shows up here.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
They're all
again.
changed. This happened before, and then it was fine the next day. But if you just started typing one of our names, you're able to tag us pretty easily. With that, let's see what else we got going on up at the desk. Big day today.
Let's do this.
YouTube does weird things. It's so weird. Very strange. BGLC, a couple of people mentioning this one as well. Big pop from 475 all the way up to 820. There was a licensing deal for BGLC announced, a little one anyway. Flying around for anyone just coming in. Let's do a quick recap here. A whole bunch of data out at 8:30. Actually, 8:15 was the first number there. Huge number on that ADP employment change number, 104,000 versus 20,000 expected. GDP growth rate, quarter over quarter advance number for Q2, 3%. Upside from 2.5 expected there. Core PCE on the quarter over quarter number for Q2, again, 2.5%. Lower than the 2.8% expected, 2.1 on the prices, the PCE prices for Q2. So all signs pointing in the right direction as far as, I mean, the economy still, you were making the comment, the economy growing at 3% still.
Yeah.
And interest rates are 4.5%.
Well, you kind of get the feeling, right, that the cutting really has nothing to do with the economy or the jobs historically.
Clearly.
Low unemployment, right? You're growing at 3%. It really comes down to, for Donald Trump, you get the feeling it's about servicing that debt. Nash, obviously, all-time highs in terms of debt being held by the U.S. Treasury, and obviously with rates higher, servicing that, continuing to pay the interest on the debt is higher than ever. So he wants to get that down. And obviously, being a real estate man as well, he wants to boost the real estate sector, which is kind of lagging a little bit, Brendan.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the Fed decides that this
Yeah, I
afternoon.
mean, I think a lot of people would agree with him on that front, anyways, with the ability to even just go out and afford a home at this point. Starbucks just made a new high there. Quick turnaround, though, 98.50 down to 97.50. Huge move here for Starbucks. Numbers were kind of meh, but China likes coffee. So China good, Starbucks to the upside this morning. VFC makes North Face, Vans, that type of clothing. Yep. A big time here as well. Just stalled out again at $15. This thing went out at $12.50 yesterday.
And it's a great reaction here on a somewhat subdued report. To build on your point, Vans is actually holding them back.
Yeah.
They've been doing quite well, excluding Vans. If they were to remove that sector from their earnings rose 6% year over year, with the strongest being here with the North Face as well as Timberland, Ultra. But they actually expect revenue to decline 2 to 4% next quarter on a constant currency basis. Again, being Vans weighing down the operations here, Brendo. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But good commentary here by the CEO, basically praising the divisions of North Face and Timberland, saying performing well and looking to diversify.
Just noting, Tesla's not really doing anything here, but it keeps, maybe it's a dark print, keeps popping up on a volume reader that I have here, but big battery deal for them. We'll get into that on the rundown. But LG coming on board for $4.3 billion worth on the battery side of things. But yeah, VFC guys, interesting look today. Not a lot of volume here though.
A ton. Probably Starbucks might be a little bit more interesting of those two names. That said, I mean, I guess Timberland's doing well because Shreve's keeping them afloat. Oh, see him in the Tims. At least every now and then. I know you do in the winter. Well, actually, I don't know about that. No, I've seen you. You wore Tims in the summer, dude. Yeah, you did. At least once or twice, I've seen you wear the Tims in the summer, which is fine. It just goes to show they're comfortable, they're versatile.
Just let everybody know Adara has confirmed.
Adara,
and when that happens, I don't even get involved anymore.
It's comfort. It's about the look.
The style's on point.
Exactly. Whether or not it's
But to your point about Timberlands, yeah.
No, but like I didn't know Vans was holding them back. That said, I think more people might be looking at Starbucks today. Let's just, I don't want to make that assumption, but I feel like that might be true. Apparently you don't have to even have increasing same-store sales. You can have those decrease, I don't know, 6 quarters in a row. and you'll still go higher. The turnaround's in full effect, and you know Brian Nichols seems to be very confident about this. You know, I don't know if we're going to get this breaking 100 today, but there are fewer, like $100 is $100 psychologically, and it also happens to be the April drop zone. You're holding the 200 period here, regardless of what you think of those earnings. This is going to be a popular level, I think, on StarBucks at $100. That said, it's not even through this triple top on an opening basis that we have at $98. So it's failed it at the open back on the 23rd. It failed it at the open or in the pre-market back there on the 9th. And we've only broken it, this 98, in the pre-market again. So really, like the 98 area is a fresh breakout at the open going into 100 on StarBucks. And it seems like one that's making a nice turnaround. And on top of that, they're looking to maybe sell a good portion of their Chinese business, and they're getting a lot of bids on that. So that could be a way for them to generate some revenue. And yeah, it looks like the recovery is well underway here for StarBucks.
Yeah, I really liked StarBucks. We talked about the up and down there, new CEO, Brian Nichols, coming through. Dare gave us some disappointing information yesterday that they're now charging for extra matcha, so that's not great. So that was one of her hacks. I never actually even took advantage of that, Adara, so at least you got advantage there for a minute. Yeah, so I'm still on PNW here. A name that I was looking at was Uber for a potential short trade again here today. We had a good look at that yesterday, breaking through $88. We can see if that gets back up to 88. Uber red on the day coming through there. And I just wanted to say, like, we had a good number from Deckers Outdoor the other day. We talked about hookah and whatnot going through, and then now today we get, like, this has had a nice run up right there, and then now today we get VFC Corp as well. So some of the retail names starting to get back into it. Waiting for a name like Lulu or something to start to go. I mean, this has been pretty bad and continues to go lower. I mean, you're not going to see much of a worse chart than this, to be honest with you. That's $410 back in January, down to $214. Many names have doubled off of the tariff lows. Like, you're not going to be able to find too many names that look this bad and are this big of a name. So, Lululemon just continues to get beat up. I think at some point this one has to become a buy. I would like it to say, get this garbage out of here and take out this 250 area, and then we can just pretend that this was a nightmare. But yeah, right now Lululemon, shareholders in trouble on this name. Nike's also had a move back upside. So some of the retail names do work. You just got to be in the right space. And right now, Lululemon, not great. There's Nike. See Nike trying to break out there again? See, look at its April lows right here, $52 up to $80. While Lululemon is like down here, like $30 in relation to that kind of a price. So, yeah, these are bad prints down there. But we're right here. We're on Nike up here at $77. All right. We want to thank yesterday. We got that handmade mallet there. We want to thank David, I guess. What was the handle? We always forget what the handle was. We did open it yesterday. I think that they're going to try to put something out with that sort of an opening. So we want to thank that for sure. But right now at the bell, it's not time yet to be rung, but it's Adara with upgrades and downgrades.
No bell yet, but a very interesting upgrades and downgrades list today, guys. Spotify kicking things off, very poorly received earnings yesterday. Today, though, getting an upgrade from DZ Bank, though its price target, a little bit of upside from that drop yesterday. Peloton, UBS here, giving this one a positive note. FUBO, another closely watched name by retailers, got a positive note as well. You can read more about that on our watch list. Amazon with an upgrade from Wedbush ahead of its earnings tomorrow, and NVIDIA, one of a handful of semiconductor names, getting a positive note from Morgan Stanley. That's something else you can read more about on our Trader TV Live watch list. Downgrade side of things, Albemarle getting another downgrade here ahead of their earnings report tonight after the bell. This one from KeyBank Capital Management. AMD getting a downgrade from DZ Bank in addition to the positive note it got from Morgan Stanley. Novo Nordisk, after a 21% decline yesterday, now down another 5% with a negative note from Barclays. And last but not least, American Tower with an HSBC Securities downgrade. What a list, guys.
Yeah, what a list. I saw in the chat there, we had South Jersey Jack. Peloton was the best short ever. I beg to differ, sir, because it's still here. And if it's still here, then it's not. There's a few names out there that you could, if something goes bankrupt, it's probably the best short ever. But there's a bunch of things that are reverse split a million times that are better shorts. That said, Peloton, interesting look. But Novo, as far as like continuation goes, we mentioned there's some continuation short opportunities of things that broke down yesterday. Novo would probably be the first on most people's list. What's crazy about it is it's not just that it sold off. Look at it hold the volume weighted average price even after it tried to bounce all day long. That just tells you that, yeah, there might have been sellers, but every time it would even creep up, it's like, oh, gotta sell, gotta sell, gotta sell. So I think that gives you something to work off of. We can short this one for free here at Real Trading. So I'm looking there's a few continuation plays. Novo is going to be one of them. I also like Uber as a continuation short, although that wasn't a negative report. But these guys are in trouble. And we showed this before, and it's actually almost depressing to look at that you have, since the GLP run happened, Novo has given up, like we're sitting at 51 right now. So if you look at when the real breakout happened in 2022, like when it started to go ham, it was from $50. Like, it's insane. Like, Eli Lilly was probably, I don't know, about $200 or something like that, and it's about 8, so it's 4x from about the same time, around that number, and you've now given everything back in Novo Nordisk. When things go parabolic, even if you like the company, it does pay to ring the register a little bit here, because that's just so nasty for them.
All right, I mean, we will be talking about AMD and stuff like that on as we go through our list about semiconductors. There are some big news there. To me, the bigger upgrade, and it's not really, it's just MRVL is trying to break through here on notes about an old note circulating that they're going to have a $10 billion pipeline from Microsoft, and then their deal with South Korea. And this is probably on our watch list as well when we go through it, but this name in the chip space is interesting to me today, MRVL. So yeah, I just didn't know if it was going to be on the rundown, but it'll probably be on the rundown. So we'll leave it for that. But this is a good name in the chip space for sure. We'll talk about some MRVL. So have a look over there when we get going. And then IBIT right now in Bitcoin, 17.8, coming into some levels as well. So I mean, I think you talked about that Coinbase news. I think that's what's going on here. IBIT, there it is. That's going to be good news for the crypto space. I think the easier it is to transfer over. We talked about transferring in kind yesterday on the after show with Adara. And right now you're getting easier access to Bitcoin and crypto through JP Morgan and Coinbase. So yeah, I think this has a chance to break as well here today. Good support down near the bottom for IBIT. You can see they're sort of near the bottom of its range. It's because crypto hasn't really moved very much intraday lately. But yeah, $66 looks like it wants to hold. That's roughly like 117 or so. So we'll see if that can hold that level. But I'm excited for Bitcoin today. I put out on Twitter here what were people looking at trading this morning. We didn't get too many interesting ideas. But we got Adara say UNH, Circle, and Netflix as well. We got some Robinhood, we got some Cake, we got some AMD and the TQs. The SQs are over here. Mara, AI 92323 wants to look at some Mara. So yeah, I think there's some good crypto plays that are out there as well. So yeah, we're excited to look forward today. And again, 2 o'clock, interest rates. Friday, non-farm payrolls, and then big earnings tonight and tomorrow. So I think the plays are going to have to be early, and you're going to have to be a little specific on what you're doing. So we've got some ideas ready to go here, just trying to figure out the last couple, and then we'll put out our note, and we're going to go back over to the desk with Brendan and Sharif.
Just seeing some of the Chinese names moving lower right now. Visa as well, popping the other direction. It is down on the day, but popping the other direction here, back above 344. Another one to the downside so far this morning. We'll touch on that coming up here. But some of the Chinese names just popping up in front of me here. Not a heck of a lot of volume behind this, but XPeng, yeah, rolling over again. Moving back to the downside after a pretty ugly day yesterday. So across the board, I mean, we were just talking about TikTok there a little bit, and China starts moving lower. So not a coincidence. Let's get a look at the overall market here, though, to kick things off.
6406, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. So we defend that key 6,400 point area. We maintain that area, in fact, overnight, with the overnight low being 6,403, the overnight high 6,417. So we're locked in a bit of a range. So we'll use 6,400 as support, and that same area that we rejected off yesterday, Brendo, 6,450 as resistance.
Absolutely monstrous day to come. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab that. Absolutely free every single day. Jump down to the description. Top link in the description will get you to the sign up page, and then we just do your homework for you. It's absolutely free, comes right to your inbox every single morning. check out the watch list. Starbucks, top of this morning. It's been a while since, I mean, it feels like a while anyways. We've been talking positively about this stock, up huge here this morning on China coming through for SBUX.
Yeah, they're looking to divest some of their China sales, but their China sales are better. Let's talk about how they did globally and domestically. So global same-store sales continue to drop 2% year over year in declines. North America also a drop of 2%, but that was better than expected. Analysts were looking for a 2.5% drop, but that's where the drops end. China, the first positive comp in 6 quarters with a 2% increase in same-store sales, but lower ticket size, so people are not spending as much on the purchases there. Q3 revenue came in at $9.5 billion, beating the estimate of 9 1/3. Adjusted EPS at 50 pennies. Unclear if that's comparable to the estimate of 65 pennies, which was expected by the street. Net income continued to fall here, Brendo, below the billion, $558 million. Compare that to last year on the quarter when they printed $1.05 billion as a result of a one-time tax and an event cost. Brando, more to say on this one with Gen Z kind of reconnecting here. They're seeing a nice boost from that specific demographic with respect to sales, and they're opening up campuses, campus locations to build on that.
I have, it's been a long time since I've been in a Starbucks, so stop me if you heard this, but I was watching a video of one of the busier locations in New York City in Manhattan, and they actually have a screen now that shows your status, where your order is. Oh. So it's like received, nice, being processed, ready for pickup. So there's 3 different lines. So it kind of gives you a better experience, I guess, guys, if you're waiting in line.
Yeah, I'll cop to not really going into Starbucks, but it doesn't matter because the market's buying what Brian Nichols selling right now, and he's confident in the turnaround. He thinks it's ahead of schedule, and ultimately, you know, it's where people view this in the future, and ultimately. It looks to me so similar. SMCI comes to mind in terms of the pattern. There's nothing, the stocks have nothing to do with each other, but it's just that whole, like, it's doing a stair step up without anything crazy. And you don't wonder, and here, I'll tell you, this is what I mean visually on SMCI. Like, it's doing like the stair step up, like, it'll just break and then consolidate and break and then consolidate and break and consolidate. And you're waiting for that, where's that big, massive 10% kind of day? And after earnings is usually a pretty good opportunity for something along those lines. Like we said earlier, 100 has to break, and we're not even through 98, which is some big support. And every time it's been at 98 in the pre-market or at the open, the last couple times, it has faded. So that's a huge hurdle. If it breaks this in the open market after 9:30, that to me is 98 breaking. And then you work that into 100. I think this is, you know, they got a great leader there, and as you were showing, we were talking about companies out the bottom, right? Like, you know, Lululemon, which is trending to the downside. Well, you know, Starbucks had its trend break a while ago. Like, it was having a rough time. It broke the trend sometime in May, you could argue, call it June, and it's been riding the wave. It just hasn't performed as well as the overall market. There's still some concerns, no questions asked. Same-store sales not really looking that good comparatively the last few quarters. But if you believe in them, then it needs to hold this 98, and then you get the break into 100. And then once you're through 100, all systems go on this stock.
Yeah, look, I have Starbucks. Seems like we're at Starbucks all the time. Look, up 5% right now. I really like the stock. It's actually going to be on the sticky note today for the break of 98.50. I mean, that's the pre-market high right there. Yeah, it's really difficult. Sometimes these breakouts, like, they don't really last very long during earnings, or they just go and you're like, why didn't I take that? So I'm a little nervous that this could be one of those fake and break and fake type of plays right there at 98.50. But, you know, up 5% is nice, but it's not huge. You know, we can get up more than that. That was sort of the implied move. So we're kind of where we need to be now on Starbucks. That little move down there, fine. I think there is some sellers in this name. And as Brennan and everybody had just mentioned there, they didn't have a great quarter. It was just the fact that Brian Nichols now talks about how this is ahead of schedule. The turnaround that he was looking to do on Starbucks is now ahead of schedule. So if that includes China, and obviously these guys ear to the ground, maybe there's a deal that's more imminent than we think. I think that helps out Starbucks. They talked about that business as well. Luckin Coffee, LKNC SMCY over here on the pink sheets. I mean, this is $40 name. This continues to rock. I mean, we don't even talk about these names because we're over here on the OTC market and just don't look at them as much as other names with the earnings and everything happening after hours. But right there, look at what Luckin Coffee's doing. I mean, you don't think this name has been pretty hot? I mean, this is China Coffee. So, you know, nice move to the upside there for them. I think Starbucks continues to work. It's going to be on the note, which is going to be published in just a couple seconds. So I like it, breaking through 98.50. Starbucks again on earnings. A good report, not great, but it's more about the guide. That's what earnings are. We've already seen the stock. The stock's already been barcoding here on a daily for a while, and now you're trying to break out. So we've traded Starbucks beautifully in the past. Unfortunately, we didn't buy anything down here. We bought this dip initially and were able to get out. Now we'll wait to see Starbucks, what it does now at this $100 marker. I still think it has $100 pegged to it today. So if it has $100 on it today, the 98.50 must be pretty good. So let's just wait to see on Starbucks. Maybe patience is the right way to play this. I don't want it to just rip into 98.50. Hopefully it can get up there. The market can open up, and then a couple minutes in, we can see a test of that level. So 98.50 long on Starbucks. I like it. I think the stock needs to work. Retail is still pretty strong. Rates don't seem to be going anywhere. But look what's happening with the Nasdaq right now. A nice little pullback. 10 straight minutes of downside right now for the Nasdaq, and a name like Starbucks is holding up. So maybe that means something. All right, let's go back over to the desk and maybe find out why this Nasdaq's dropping. I don't know.
All right, SoFi gives it all back here. It's worth noting as well, just quickly for SBUX, there's 3 or 4 analysts reiterating overweight on Starbucks as well. But yeah, SoFi gives it all back from yesterday on this offering here this morning. We're right back to those levels from last week.
Yeah, $1.5 billion in common stock, Brendo. That's the offering. Goldman Sachs going to underwrite this, acting as the lead underwriter. The deal includes a 30-day option as well for the underwriters to buy an additional 15% of the offered shares. The funds here, you know, they kind of give general descriptions. They say general corporate purposes for working capital as potential business development or acquisition opportunities. But with what's been happening lately, you got to really wonder, Brendo, whether or not there's going to be any crypto additions to the balance sheet here. ETH, maybe Doge, who knows what SoFi's thinking.
Yeah, interesting timing on that. Obviously, if they get that move off of the earnings report, why not, you know, take that opportunity to do this? I was just noting there's still a number of positive analyst notes this morning, even with this, guys. Today, Needham included on that, maintaining their buy on SoFi.
No, that's how they do, you know. And look, it was a great quarter, but offering's an offering, and SoFi's history of there being sellers on earnings day just continues to be true. Like it broke early, but it spent most of the open session. Like if you look at the first 15-minute candle, that was the high. It made the high in the first 15-minute candle. It's been most of the day just trending right back in. So we go back to square one. Before earnings, it closed at $21. I like close prices more than I like open prices, so that's the first place I'm keying off of. I think if we can get above 21, there's a gap that can be filled, but underneath 21, I'm going to be favoring the short trade on SoFi. If we get down there, it's worth noting that 20 even was a big buy support at 20 on the 22nd in here. But yeah, the 21 levels where I'm keying off of, just go back to the prior close before the earnings, and let's see if it can chew through that level. But I want to short that pop into the 21 area on SoFi. But I still think on the longer time frame, because we were talking about this yesterday, when we look at the monthly chart, oh, that did that again, on SoFi, it still looks really, really good in terms of you probably have it'd be a next month thing to try to break out this top through the all-time high on SoFi, but it's a great looking setup there. You're just going to have to wait for that breakout probably sometime in the back half of the year.
Yeah, look, yesterday on the sticky note, we had written it down, and it was right into here. SoFi looking to get that pre-market long break on earnings, and that's AMD right there. There's SoFi. That's what we did. So as Neil said, there's our break long yesterday, right on the show live, and there's our 25, and there's our outs. A bunch of outs littered out there at 25. So that was a good one right there for us yesterday. But of course, that was earnings day. So there's that break. Here's us getting out, and then we actually at the end of the day we shorted, which was actually in my opinion, a little bit of a better. This was a great trade. We made all our money here, but this made a lot of sense as we watched this 50-period moving average just come right back into the downside there, into the close. So we actually made money long and short yesterday. So props up no matter which way you were going yesterday on SoFi. SoFi was the #1 stock here yesterday. So there's the move down back into $22 again. I think that's a good break level. I just put out the sticky note's going to be out in a second, but I do have SoFi written down here, and what I wrote down was, what about this 2050 area that we just keep on bouncing off of here low? So I'm going to wait to see, try to be some patience with this name. Again, an offering that gets dropped doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with the business. So we're going to just play off of a good earnings report and hope that we can hold down here at 2050. So for me, SoFi's a long down there at $20.50. So it being down 7% might be a nice benefit. Remember, we got out yesterday at $24 as well on our own account. I actually meant to check to see how much percentage of our position we got out. But once we broke through 24 right there on the rip up, we got out on that daily candle, as Neil just mentioned. So yeah, you know, I could take advantage of that now, rebuy this name down 20% or so from where it was yesterday. But I'm going to wait a minute to see what happens with SoFi here today. $20 could be a key level. So between 20 and 20.50, why not take a shot there? So yeah, that's what we're doing there. Yeah, good call there by Juan Padilla as well. That was your #1 P&L. So congratulations to that one. I'm glad some of you followed that trade.
Before we get back to the desk, Eddie's back with a super chat. Eddie Sarkeesian, thank you so much for the super chat in here. UNH should be a great buy. No? Well, Explorer 4464 is probably saying the thing that I was saying recently with this name. And I don't think, not yet. I think there's going to be a value there. There's no question about it when it comes to UNH. But it just retook the downward trend. I'm waiting for this thing to either get the 50-period moving average or show me. It's like the 220 level, if you go really, really far back out, I believe, is an interesting level. So either it gets way down there, or let's have it actually show you some strength over the 50-period. Just nothing good going on for them. And then we have a good one from Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry gonna be all right. Forget about Will Smith. I have like this Martin Lawrence bit in my head from, I don't know if you ever watched Martin.
Yeah.
There's this scene with him and Tommy Davidson where they're at the radio station and he's like, yo, I need to get them yams. He's talking about like that cash. I got bills to pay. And then that got turned into a song a couple of years ago by some randos. And then Fetty Wap remade that song. And I can't get that ish out of my, it's so catchy and I can't get it out of my head. I'll find it for you. I'll send you a link of it. But do you guys have classes to help set up charts and know what to look for? Onesie love to learn. Okay, so well, we don't have classes for how to set up charts. What you can do is, you know, a video like that for like our setup actually makes a lot of sense. I don't know if we did a video just like that, but feel free to ask us any questions, what our preferences are. I can tell you, like, very simply on a daily chart, like there's a 50 and a 200 on a SMAs on a daily, and I use candlesticks and I have volume up. You know, I always make sure I have volume on there, but my charts are very simplistic, and I like multiple time frames. You know, 3-minute, 15-minute daily charts. Sometimes I'll have a 60-minute for the futures, but that's about it. We don't have a specific video, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, good idea. All right, we're going to be dropping some things soon, so stay tuned for all of that. All right, it's time now to talk about VFC and the retail space.
Some bands.
Just be aware, they're showing this Pan W deal on CNBC again, so if you're watching Pan W or that CyberArk stock could be moving. Q's downside right now. Just wanted to update everyone. We're back below that early pre-market support level. VFC, meanwhile, hanging out here basically where it was earlier. $15 seems to be a bit of an issue. So far here, we are kind of just chopping around between $14.85 and $15, so a beat here for VF Corp.
Absolutely, and 20% in the green. Not a bad report at all, Brendo. A good reaction from the market, but they do expect Q2 revenue to decline about 2 to 4% on a constant currency basis. The Vans brand, as I mentioned earlier in the show, continues to weigh on performance. prompting a cautious outlook for the quarter. Here's how they did. Q2 net loss came in at about 30 pennies loss per share, improving though from the 39 penny loss they lost last year on the quarter, with an adjusted EPS being about 24 pennies. That beats the street's expectation of a 34 penny loss, with operating income guidance here between $260 to $290 million. For the Q1 revenue landed at $1.67 billion. That was flat and down 2%, believe it or not, on a constant currency basis. Analysts had actually forecasted a sharper drop, about $1.7 billion, so the results came in better than feared. Excluding Vans, though, total revenue rose 6% year over year, with strong showings from the North Face, Timberland, and Ultra. And Bracken Darrell, CEO Bracken Darrell, praised the momentum in those divisions, the North Face and Timberland, saying they performed well, and he's disappointed with Vans.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, pretty light on volume. I mean, you still see, every once in a while, I still see somebody at the gym wearing those.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have an issue with them. I don't even know why they're being spoken so badly about. I don't follow them, though.
No, same. Not a lot of volume here, guys, for VF Corp today.
Well, you know what? It's not that bad volume. It's over a million shares. Like, it's doing relative volume for sure. I'm not as huge of a fan when you've already, I think you got UGAP. Now there's almost no action happening in here. We talked about StarBucks. I'm more inclined to be looking at some day two plays. And I think this would probably more qualify as a day two play if it's above 15 bucks. Like, look at that big 15 level. It's already failed it a couple times in the pre-market. So if it can't hold above 15, like, that's where you want it to break away from. I'd be afraid that you're just going to fill in the gap on relatively light volume. So I'm looking at day two earnings plays. I think VFC is a good retail comeback story, and I believe as we've been talking about, whether it's retail, we were just mentioning UNH, some of these stocks that have not been participating in the market rally are doing a little catch up, and they've got room to run. This falls into that category. I just would prefer a little bit more volume. No, I'm looking at PayPal off the 70 and the 71. Day two play downside, where it bounced off 70 and then held 71. That afternoon short, it held 71 like an absolute charm, and its SSR today was down hit 10% down. So I'm looking for the bounce first off 71. If that fails, I'll take a shot at this off the 70 level as well. I'm more likely to trade that than I am in VFS. But yeah, nice recovery for them, and I own a pair of Tims still. You know, I wear them in the winter, not in the summer.
Isn't that damn Daniel get part of them jeans or whatever, those white Vans right into there? But what am I typing in here? Right there, VFC. Okay, there it is right there. So 1.60 million. Yeah, when you look at the level 2 here, it didn't look like it was cleaned up there enough. But yeah, 1.6 million shares coming through right now. You know, a good level. Looks like it wants to break higher. You know, we talk about when you outperform, and right now this $15 long looks like pretty good to me, regardless of what we're up now. Shorts are going to have to cover. There's obviously some shorts into this name right now. So we are, my daughter's skates just showed up right there at the house. So hopefully, here we go. They're now in there. Hopefully they fit her. Like I was saying, she's a size 6 in her shoe. So we got her size 4 for skates. So we'll see. Hopefully those can fit her. It was a good deal there at CCM. So anyways, this $15 break there. I did want to just quickly check because we haven't mentioned the short float on this name. If this is anywhere like north of 10%, I think that this does have, and I'm just going to assume that it does have a really good chance to run there today. Wow, just barely north. 11% short right now. Conference call has concluded there off their Q1. So yeah, I mean, I think this can go breaking through $15. So let's just say that does happen. It's going to. You take the long, and I think you just play it back to VWAP. We always talk about that when there's a gap, play to VWAP. So wait for it to break. VWAP right now is at 1480. It's been pretty consistent all morning, so we're not too worried about it right now. But if it does break that 15, maybe you just wait for this pre-market break of 15.15 and then use VWAP as you're out. I don't think it's very risky to do that. You know, the spread should tighten up here once the market opens, and you get a 15.20, let's just say, with slippage long. Give yourself 40 cents. I think that trades works. So I like VF Corp there, especially if you can get the break of that pre-market high. Otherwise, let it settle down a couple minutes. But I like VFC here off that number, up 20%. How can't you like it with an 11% short float? I think for those of you that like to push some names around and look for names that can be pushed, arbitraged. This is definitely one of them. Only $15 right now. It's going to be cheap to buy the options as far just a dollar price wise there. So I like it. I think there's a good chance for this to go. VF Corp now on my radar, that's for sure.
Make sure you're with us at 4 o'clock tonight. Absolutely monstrous names, not only tonight to come through with earnings, but tomorrow as well. Meta, Microsoft, Hood, QCOM among those tonight.
It's going to be big, Brendo, and Hood. Yeah, you mentioned Hood, sorry. So here's what we're expecting. Let's talk about Meta and Microsoft, the two big names. For Meta, we're expecting EPS to come in at $5.88 on revenue of $44.8 billion. That's what the street is expecting. 98% of Meta's revenue still comes from Facebook and Instagram. They've invested about $55 billion year to date in AI data centers, and the hiring spree, it continues with more poaching for Meta's super intelligence lab. But we will be on the lookout for comments, Brendo, specifically about Temu and Shein, who are actually about 11% of the advertising revenue for Meta. They've been advertising less ever since the de minimis rule kind of put the kibosh on that $800 kind of workaround for imports. Wall Street will watch whether new low-cost advertisers could possibly fill their place, so that's Meta right there. Now, with respect to Microsoft, we're expecting EPS to come in at $3.38 on revenue of $73.8 billion. Azure cloud revenue will certainly be in focus. Analysts are expecting 35% growth rate ahead of that 33 we printed last year on the quarter. Copilot and AI software demand will also be closely watched. And CapEx. Like Meta, they've been spending big money here with full year 2026 CapEx growth expected to drop a little bit, Brendo, from softy anyway. Last thing here, strong performance from ServiceNow is kind of being looked as a read-through for cloud demand. So we'll have to see how their cloud division done. 22% year to date in the green.
Yeah, make sure you're again with us tonight at 4 o'clock. We'll get that going. On that note, Meta, it doesn't actually say from Zuckerberg, it just says Meta. Comments here, developing superintelligence is now in sight. And also superintelligence will raise novel safety concerns. So we'll hear more about that, I'm sure. Coming up tonight, absolutely huge on both of these charts right now, guys.
Huge, and I'm sure you'll hear some Mag 7 names talk about India. So let's talk about it for VinFast, everybody. They just opened its very first showroom there, and they're not stopping. The planned 35 dealerships across 27 cities by year end. And yes, pre-bookings are already live. This all comes ahead of their CKD plant launch. VinFast isn't just entering India, they're planting the flag. If you're tracking deliveries, this is a textbook move to power their 200,000 vehicle global target for 2025. Scan the QR code you see in front of you for more information. Shout out to VinFast. And go Meta. Yeah, well, yesterday it was go to the downside Meta. Someone has been selling this in the 720s, as you can obviously tell. I'm not a huge fan of trying to trade this one going into earnings, but we talked about the hyperscalers, and we're going to get a couple of them today. It's so important to see that CapEx spend continue if we're looking to continue to ride the wave in some of the energy names and some of the chip names as well, speaking of NVIDIA. So I think that's one thing we'll be keying in on. And if we don't want to trade Meta, necessarily want to trade Meta going into the earnings, reminded that Alphabet already did report, and Alphabet already did beat, and Alphabet was strong yesterday. And Alphabet also had massive CapEx spending that the market decided not to punch them for. So look, this was trending the entirety of the day. When the market was at the lows and trending down, this was trending up. So I think we'll wait for the reports on the other two, and then I want to trade the one that already reported and finally broke away from this 3.5-day consolidation that it had with 194 top and 191 bottom. Long back into the 194 first stop, and if that loses, I wait for 191. Strong name yesterday, Alphabet, and hopefully we'll be saying the same thing about Meta come tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, right here, Microsoft and Meta platforms both expected to move 4% and 6% respectively, with Meta being the bigger move here tonight. So, yeah, there's going to be good ones. You could definitely check it out. Market Chameleon. Dara will have some pretty cool graphics and whatnot set forward and ready to go for Trader TV research. So make sure you do check that out as well. But right there on Meta, I think it's a buy ahead of earnings, but that's kind of the only time I ever really did that was MRVL, and that's just because it was like down into here and just thought there was movement to the upside. Obviously, MRVL has worked out for me, but I don't think you want to step into any of these names just quite yet. We wait for that CapEx number to make sure that everything is all good. We know that Mark Zuckerberg's been looking at and employing more and more engineers to come through. So there's something in the pipeline there. I like to hear about Oculus. I like to hear about those glasses as well to make sure that ad spending is still where it is. Want to hear the plan for WhatsApp. Can they monetize that? Are they going to start to charge for WhatsApp? I believe yes, they will, even if it's $5 a month or something like that. I think that they'll probably do that, and then we'll see if people continue with WhatsApp or not. But yeah, we're not far away. That 6% move gets us through. So either you're 6% down, 6% on 70, you're looking for a $50 move or so, one way or the other, give or take. So if you get that $50 move, that breaks the high right there. And if you get that $50 move, then you come back into the 200 period moving average of the downside. So as long as it moves sort of as expected, I think we're going to have some great trading tomorrow on Meta. Microsoft, I used to trade this name a lot. I always feel like it's too expensive right now. I don't know, $513. This is a little different where it's near and at the highs, all-time highs there for Microsoft. So if I could pick one to outperform the other, I think Microsoft wins here today, just based on what this chart looks like. It's like straight up. There's like nothing stopping Microsoft right now. We had a good number on cloud. Google looked like a champion company once again. So I say go for it right there today. If you're going to pick a long, I would think Microsoft eventually is the one there. Marvell comes with a sell, so that's hitting that to the downside. We are excited to get this 84.50 level. I don't know if that's going to come through there. That's actually 85 clean from yesterday. Looking at the pre-market high break of 84 might be something right now. Marvell heading to the downside here off earnings. PanW catches a little bit of a bid, but that's near lows. And Neil just talked about Google. That got a sell as well. So, all right, 4 minutes left. Let's go back over to the desk and talk about Tesla.
Yeah, here's the headline this morning real quick. LG Energy Solutions coming through with a $4.3 billion battery and energy storage supply deal here for Tesla.
It's a good look here, Brendo. It's for these lithium iron phosphate batteries, LFPs. Now, if you're wondering what's so good about these and why they're being used, longer lifespan. They can typically last more charges, more cycles, improved safety, and lower cost and eco-friendliness. So you'll see a lot of these EV companies try to push into these LFP batteries. So they're going to be built for Tesla at LG's Michigan factory. So we don't have to worry about the imports and reducing reliance on China, obviously. The deal will run from August 2027, so in a couple of years, all the way to July 30th with an option to extend 7 years and increase volume. Tesla CFO, had flagged that tariffs on Chinese LFP imports were disproportionately affecting the energy storage division. Now let's build on that energy storage division. Tesla's energy business now makes up about 10% of all the revenue, outpacing its EV unit, actually. And Elon Musk emphasized battery demand on the last earnings call, saying not many people appreciate how gigantic this is. Obviously, he has an affinity for hyperbole, but you can take that for what it's worth. And Tesla does plan, Brendo, to start in-house LFP production in Nevada by year end, but it's going to be a small share of how much it uses.
Worth noting here, it didn't move on this. IBIT, I was just having a look at here. The Trump administration has released its crypto report and apparently omits details on Bitcoin strategic reserve once again. So again, Bitcoin did not really do much on that, but worth noting.
Yeah, interesting. I think the big crypto news today is going to be that JP Morgan Coinbase partner up, and Coinbase is very strong off of that. But as far as Tesla goes, it's been it's been a little bit choppy since the earning. But when I look at the monthly, we're holding a pretty good trend, and it looks like nothing crazy is going to happen in the last couple of days. I don't think that could possibly break this nice upward trend on the monthly for Tesla. So as long as we hold the $300, I like that higher low that we're putting in for sure. And I don't think we get to that level today. I didn't put it didn't make the list because I like the teams. It was that 316 area for the buy, and I don't think too much has changed for me post earnings. Like that's the area that I want to be a buyer in front of on Tesla. So it's unlikely. I mean, it could happen. I mean, we could easily get there on Tesla. Tesla moving $6 is not impossible, but it's not going to be the front of the mind. We didn't mention NVIDIA or any of the chips, I don't think. Pretty sure we didn't. But NVIDIA had a wall all afternoon just underneath 177, and the same thing is happening right here. If this takes out 177, I think you get a quick little push to the upside. It's a similar thing at about $60 on SMCI.
So, quick super chat from On the Rail here talking about SFM. It has earnings today and it should be good long-term position. Should be good long with a large position. Thoughts and opinions? What's up On the Rail there? Again, a healthy, we don't have Sprouts Farms here in Canada as far as I know, but a health-based grocery store. I was just reading up on it there. Health conscious, I think that's a good spot to be in. You know, Amazon bought out Whole Foods many years ago. Of course, they haven't really done too much with it, I don't think. But yeah, coming back into the 200 period moving average again ahead of earnings. If you like the name, I think you probably know what you're doing. So I would say above this 150, it's good to go. This has been a monster of a stock, SFM, and I don't really know too much about it. But again, thanks for that note there. Obviously, an interesting name, and you know, as more health conscious individuals. Have a lot of money, obviously, and continue to shop at SFM. So I think it's going to be a good one. Just looking here, we're waiting for AMD, NVIDIA, and all that to go. We are now on the bell. We want to thank our viewer for the new mallet there with only 10 seconds left.
Yes,
as we go. It's a great one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're looking at Starbucks, Marvell, NVIDIA, all ready to go. NVIDIA for my break would be 177. We just got into something, just broke right there. What was it? We're into one position right now. As you can see, it's Starbucks. So here goes Starbucks. We take that 98.50 break, I thought, but we're in it right now. Let's see if we can get some out at 70s. There it is, a little out there now. Our first trade of the day is a Starbucks long break. We only get something out there at 75. Now we have to wait and suffer through this as it comes back into the downside. Watch out for the Nasdaq. It's Starbucks right now. Little interesting right here off of earnings. We're long already.
Yeah, Starbucks a big name after earnings, so no breakout on Alphabet yet, or SMCI is underneath 60, and NVIDIA is not breaking 177. Obviously, we're looking a little bit at Tesla. If it wants to drop, but it's not making any moves. Whoa, did we break?
What happened?
Oh, no, one of my level 2s. Yeah, okay, I got the fill, so we must have broken. Yeah, we broke.
Okay.
On Google. That was
no.
It was weird. I think one of my level 2s was frozen a little bit. I was seeing like 90s when this level broke on Alphabet, so it's trying to go.
Starbucks a little bit there.
And I got to look up because NVIDIA is pretty close to the break as well. So I'm looking to get some out in front of the quarter. At first, I'm giving this back into the 75 area. And apologies if my mic is having some issues.
Oh no, again?
It's like every single morning. Thank you, Fabian, if you fix that. All right, so we're into one trade. It's just Alphabet. I keep looking up, but NVIDIA is not yet at that 177 level for its potential break. And SoFi 21, still looking for a play there as well.
Oh, SoFi 21, okay. So we'll slap a little bit of a fail right there. We're now into Marvell as Marvell now breaks a little bit longer, but Starbucks does not go. It's going the other way. So it hits a key level there. We get busted out of that one. So right now it's Starbucks downside. If this breaks 97.50, there it goes. We're out now. Starbucks with an L on that one. So we're into other names though. It's NVIDIA and Marvell now. So my attention changing over to all of these names as let's see what NVIDIA can do for us right here, right now. 177.10. Let's put an offer. Oh, we just put a wrong price there. But let's put one into the 30s now and see if we can get something out now on NVIDIA. Hopefully that can climb a little bit. And then Marvell on what I thought was going to be some decent news here. They take out that 84.30 level that we liked long as well, but it's not really moving. So we're not getting the sort of the movement that we had thought we would get here early on many of these names. All breakout plays, but spreads are quite large here. We got to be patient with what's happening here in this marketplace. Marvell, fake and break and fake right now, it looks like. Back down to the downside. Watch out for an 83 break, and then we can just regroup. All of these stocks started to go early, and we got punched into some key levels, but the market is heading south side.
I was about to say,
so, yeah, market
just lost
no.
That prior high on Google, so I'm out at the quarter mark when it happened. I could have taken maybe 15 or 20 cents on it, but I was offering past the 1-to-1. NVIDIA is still going, so that's at least, it's trying to get through the quarter itself. It already took it once. I'm sitting at 33, I think. Anyways, just got filled. So NVIDIA is continuing to rally, but not that great over on
NVIDIA's
Google. I
great.
do want to take another shot at it. If I get another chance at Alphabet, I do want to take another shot. SoFi is the other thing. Day 2 play, SoFi with a 1.5 offering after what was
NVIDIA.
good
Damn,
earnings.
come on,
It
NVIDIA.
goes right into 2090, and of course, that's when I'm getting filled in NVIDIA. So I could have had that short at the 90 level. I'll be patient on the way back to the upside. It's above the volume-weighted average price here on SoFi, so I do want to be a little bit careful with that one.
Yeah, we were able to get some advantage there. We looked over and like, oh my God, NVIDIA's ripping. It went to 177.50, so we do have that long. Okay, here comes, come on, man. Give me some more out of 20 there if we can get it. Okay, hopefully this can go back up. We are at 177.45 again to see if we can get something out near the high end of NVIDIA with, again, an upgrade on the name. You know, like the chip space, I've liked that for a while. If the market goes, hopefully we can get a nice go here with NVIDIA. We're also trying to get MRVL. We're not trying to do anything. We're just waiting to see if MRVL wants to go as well. Right back to flat on this name. We did try to buy the dips on MRVL there, but we weren't super aggressive just because of how our day's been going so far. Not great with the breakouts, right? So Starbucks was horrible. That's now down even lower right now, down to $95 actually. Might be worth looking at buying something down here as well. More on Starbucks, but MRVL they're fading out as well. Wow, I mean these names are good. They're not right now. They're not going. Back. Yeah, the market's trying to come back upside, and we don't have these huge winners today like we were hoping for. But Starbucks could still be in there. We just got to maybe buy a little bit more on this dip off of 95.
Well, NVIDIA is looking absolutely fine, but it's
yeah.
You know, the market is trying to battle back here. By the way, PayPal, remember 71 on PayPal? That's another one I'm looking for here, but it's not there yet, about 71.5. Looking for it to get down to 71 for the SSR bounce. We already talked about NVIDIA. Got out when we broke down on Alphabet, waited for it to bounce off the volume-weighted average price. Why is the scaling? Oh, that's why. I have to get rid of this little thing down there, and the scaling will be better on that chart. But bought the VWAP dip here on Alphabet. Prefer to trade them as opposed to the names that are reporting tonight. You know, it's not that you can't trade names on the day of earnings. I'd just rather trade something where we know and we have some price action post. Market's starting to come back in here, looking pretty good. I'm not offering again on NVIDIA until we get into the 178 level. And we're trying to get this back above 196 over here in Alphabet. The other thing is I did want short in SoFi, and it's trying to lose VWAP. I'm not going to get these 2090s again. It's just determined not to let me in front of 21 even. But I'm going to throw an offer a little bit lower, like in the low 90s, and see if I get picked up. But once this is through 21, I don't want to fight SoFi. We know how that can squeeze.
Oh, man, we lost too much money on Starbucks, but, man, we made some money here on MRVL and NVIDIA. So far, so good there, again, on these names. MRVL, huge upside right there. Shouldn't have messed with Starbucks. We got hit on that. I mean, there goes Starbucks again. We tried to buy some 95s. It is actually making a huge move to the downside right now, SBUX. That's too bad because we've got some nice winners to sort of, it's just going to be one for the other. MRVL right now, good level there, breaking through 84.50. We like that one. Running into a little bit of trouble here at 85 as MRVL gets that sort of, not an upgrade, but gets talked about there as they're signed a deal with North Korea there for some of their AI chips, and then a good talk about them and Microsoft. So that's a good one. NVIDIA, again, trying to do its own thing here. The market just had a nice move up, and we did take advantage of it. So I'm pretty happy with our trading here on NVIDIA today. Oh, sorry, that's still MRVL right here on NVIDIA as we just got out some. Again, we told you we're waiting at 177.50, so we do that twice right there. It's actually 177.45. We'll see what happens on that one right now. I still like Starbucks down here, but it's going to have to get going at some point back there to the upside. I guess this number was not as loved yesterday as possible. There. We were up about 5 or 6% at the highs for Starbucks and now faded down pretty good. So there's the first break there, 98.50. Should not have obviously taken that as you're down now $5. But let's see if it wants to continue to work out now back up to the upside here. Starbucks debating taking a break here of 95.10 or so, but give it one more shot maybe on Starbucks, but that's being a little stubborn. So, all right, let's go back over to Adara.
Keep an eye here on MO Altria Group. They did post a double beat this morning and raise their guidance. An earnings winner pushing higher today. MO, guys. Back to you.
Ooh, look at them. I just turned to Sean and said, man, Coinbase is really giving back that move. and it just bounced $4. The partnership with JPM, they like it a lot. I think that's a good one for them. Maybe you can get back to that 400 level. Just want to make sure we're tracking some things that you guys are watching. I see coin is blasting SMCI. Oh no, I'm in NVIDIA and not SMCI. SMCI, yeah, it's doing it again. And sometimes this is how it is. Sometimes AMD is better than NVIDIA. I haven't checked AMD yet. And sometimes SMCI is better than NVIDIA just for momentum on the day. This feels like it's going to be one of those days, the price action early. First available dip into 60. I'm going to try and pick this one up. Alphabet, we're only in 2 names here, Alphabet and NVIDIA. Sorry, yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get into SMCI. We just failed 196 again on Google. So the breakout didn't work. The VWAP dip got back to the highs, but it's failing that 196 level. I want to see the buyers above 96, above the breakout price. Then I'll feel a heck of a lot better about this move. As far as the shorts go, not really in SoFi yet, and I'm not going to rush to it in the open range. If we didn't get that first initial push on SoFi to get the short at 21, it's holding highs, holding VWAP. So I don't feel any need to rush into this trade. I can always try to get it back through the volume weighted average price, which reminds me of a pattern that I'm just going to repeat. Every single day, if Intel in the first 15 minutes fails a breakout of the high, then you short it into VWAP after it goes down. So if that happens again, which it looks like it's happening again, then I will do that one more time on Intel. But that's the only chip name I'm looking to the south side. What else are you guys watching here? I know there's that SGD, which is was blasting to the upside. Not so much anymore. But look at that. Holding the prior highs, everybody, at that 160. That's what we put in the chat. Always important, but be careful. This is a halt candidate if it breaks those lows. It's a $2 stock, doesn't have to move that much to go into a halt. It could be a big drop if it loses the 160. When it lost that in the afternoon yesterday, it dropped about 30, 40 cents in one shot. So be careful with SGD, but it's holding for now at a key support level.
All right, just testing my wife how those hockey skates are going. All right, yeah, we just tried again, StarBucks there at 93. It didn't work, so I was like, okay, maybe that was another hold, but we'll get a little bit stubborn there and try it a couple times. But really, it was just the first trade. Once that didn't work, we could have and should have stayed away from that one. But man, oh man, nice move downside right there for SBUX LKNCY. I want to see if Luck and Coffee was sort of following that. It's not doing anything. Did they? I don't know. I was just looking at it because of StarBucks there again. Right. Let's move off of that for a second. MRVL. So we did, noticing that it wasn't really moving out. Again, right there, we did get some outs right there on MRVL near 85. It's coming right back into VWAP, so that's going to be interesting there. Whenever you get a move down like this, I think it is worth looking at again for MRVL. Wow, that StarBucks is now 92.
Luckin did report last night.
Oh, they did? Okay, well, I'm surprised they don't have much volume.
Or this morning, maybe?
Maybe it was the day before. All right, so MRVL coming in right now, 83 and change. We'll try to buy a little bit of this dip up right now, but if it breaks 83, then we're gone right there on MRVL. I mean, I think that's where I put my stop anyways, was it? Yeah, a little bit of a break there coming in. So if that does happen, we're going to get out. But a fade back into VWAP there makes a little bit of sense with this market doing what it's doing. So for right now, not the greatest trade right there on MRVL. I know you've been looking at SoFi. I don't want to talk about all the same names. We've been looking at 2050 as a possible hold, but pretty choppy right now for SoFi. So I think we can kind of just look away at that now. Tesla on the move again here early, 321, 320 might have just held there pretty nicely on Tesla, and then a nice bump to the upside. Looks like NVIDIA's trying to go back, just went into 60 and fell again. So let's see if NVIDIA wants to do something here. Looks like Adair's got something for us.
Yeah, just be aware here. FXI bouncing nicely here off these pre-market lows. We do have some comments coming from China's Foreign Minister Wang calling for further negotiation channels with the U.S., just saying that they need better ways, I guess, for communication and consultation, but saying that they want that China and the U.S. should be avoiding conflicts and confrontations. So seeming here pretty open to talking from China's Foreign Minister Wang, similar, I guess, sentiment to what we got with China and the U.S. yesterday as well. So we're doing Hang Seng Index did not have a good day last night, but FXI, as I mentioned, nice morning so far. No economic data, at 9:45, but at 10 a.m., we will get some pending home sales numbers. I'll give those for you guys right on the desk. Back to you.
All right. Oh, no. Hold on a second.
Thank you very much, Dara.
We can barely hear that one, but thank you, Adara. I appreciate you for sure. Lots in the way
you're hitting there.
Data today, but obviously bigger when we get the Fed doing absolutely nothing, everybody. So let's worry about the Fed when we get there. What I think is happening is a bit of a fake out. They did the shake and bake, broke the pre-market lows, and now the market's hunting for the high. So the longs are looking pretty solid, at least for now. Google's blasting, it's trying to get this 197. Let's zoom out because I think obviously there's a level up here. At the open on earnings day, it failed 197. So I'm out in front of the 197 level, take it step by step. If it makes a press into 200, it's doing so. It's doing so in another trade because there's a 98 breakout that happens as well, and then I'll go for the next available dip buy. NVIDIA's slowing down a little bit here, though. Yeah, a little bit worried about this NVIDIA slowdown.
Yeah, 177.20.
Yeah, it's still looking pretty good, but oh no,
Crash?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
No, it looked like
it looked like it was hesitating the crash there. The crash.
No, but see what's happening on NVIDIA? We're losing the 177.5. VWAP sits here at 77. Let's see a clean bounce off VWAP. And if we get that, then I'll reload. But the market's pressing toward the high. NVIDIA should be doing what Google's doing or Alphabet is doing. And as I say that, I might have just jinxed Alphabet.
Oh no, is Alphabet going up at least?
It is.
Okay.
But it just, there we go. It just broke the high again.
Apple down to 211 right now. Tesla 321. SoFi 2070. Starbucks 92 flat right now. Not great there. Wow. SBET moving around. SBET. We did take another shot here off 92 on Starbucks. You can see there. That's going to be the disaster du jour for me today. Starbucks trying to buy that one upside. There goes SBET right now. We know the Ethereum trust play. There it goes up 7% right now. SBET really not on too much news as far as we've seen here. Bank of Canada overnight rate target unchanged. So 2.75% announcement right now for Canada at 9:45. So nothing going on right there. Pretty clear consensus I'm hearing in my ear. Yep. So 2.75%. We did think that was what the case was going to be for Canada today. So they hold. Bye again. Like I'm just flushing this down on Starbucks. Like even if we're taking 40-cent hits at a time, we're still taking hits there. I still really like the long, but if I just stayed away from this, we'd be having a huge day, but we didn't. So Starbucks downside, but there goes NVIDIA finally. Nice move. Let's go NVIDIA, man. We've got this one. Spin it finally for Neil and I. Both got NVIDIA. Now coming back in. So good trade there. Looks like this will be a good one. Dollar plus club hopefully coming in for NVIDIA 177 right now long on that one. And then MRVL off of a reload wants to get going as well. So hopefully that can go. Damn you, Starbucks. That was the out there for me on that one. Someone's talking about Big Bear AI. We're leaving that one alone, man, until earnings, honestly. I don't even really care what winds up happening with that one. I still want to do Starbucks long. I feel like we got to wait for it, though. This 92 is holding. It's breaking. So it's not holding, but it's hanging around, which is making me think maybe we found a little bit of a bottom. Yes, MRVL, good reload there, man. We just got 83.40s on MRVL, now over $1 on that last play. So I'm going to get an offer there. And of course, as soon as we punch out or try to, the market just tanks there 20 cents. So we missed that 67 punch out. Let's see if we can get it back again. Nice play there for NVIDIA, obviously. And yeah, any other names you guys want to talk about, we'll do that as well. People talking about Palantir there. AMD. I don't want to just talk about all the chip names, but these are the ones that are moving with volume. 177 and change right now with Advanced Micro Devices now green on the day. Nasdaq up, ES up. Looks like this market wants to go up, and it's up, and it's up right now in this market. So yeah, so far so good. There, that short on Starbucks was so good where we punched long, man. That pre-market high short. Boom, right there to the downside. Maybe now it's going to work out. Do I get back in? I don't
Watch us find out that some insider's been selling at $98
yeah,
for
probably.
the last
It's a
few
great
weeks.
level.
When you see a level like that, the thing about it is, if it breaks away from it, you go to 100 like right away.
All right, we're going to try again.
I got to get to, I saw a lot of people putting in Coinbase. Look, Coinbase, partnership with JP Morgan, to link bank accounts to your crypto account and use credit card. You use your credit card for payments and for crypto. I think it's fantastic. I like what's going on trend-wise, but twice now it is dumped off of this 385 level. Right, so it gets to 385, breaks and dumps. Gets to 385, breaks, dumps. So let's be careful about it. I liken that to, you know what? It's like any other play. Whoa, that was okay. We're back into Google at VWAP.
Okay.
It's like anything else, like price action. You can like a story, and I think that's a fantastic story for Google, but price matters. And somebody is selling the boat at $385 on Coinbase, so you respect it, maybe take profit out in front of it if you're going long that one. SMCI is blasting, and now NVIDIA is blasting, but Google just came back into the volume-weighted average price. I don't want this losing the 65, because we've seen what happens lately when we get these early breakouts that fail. Like, they can be right back at the lows quickly. Everybody. So let's be careful with Alphabet. Thankfully, the chips are holding out pretty nicely. NVIDIA looking pretty good. And I almost said SoFi, but we're not even trading SoFi. SMCI targeting 71 here. I would love to reload this at the volume-weighted average price. Or sorry, 61, sorry. Yesterday's high, 61. That's a target on SMCI.
All right, so if you're a savvy Canadian trader and you're looking to boost your exposure, you can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro's 3 times daily levered ETFs. Great opportunity here that have built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Please make sure you read the full disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. We want to obviously thank Global X again for their continued partnership and sponsorship of this program. So thank you to Beta X there and Global X, sorry, Beta Pro, Global X. So thank you so much for them. Go check it out, Beta Pro. Type it into Google, get going there, scan that QR code and get involved with them ASAP. Okay. Yeah, we can check out some PLTR right here quickly. Let's do this run right now. Thanks to Fabian for building this again. Right now, the #1 name is HIMS, it looks like. So we can have a look at HIMS, AMD, VRT. We'll check out those guys as well. Big Bear AI, Palantir, Circle, Tesla. But let's just give it a fresh start right now. So now you can start typing it in. Hood, Spotify. You got to do it by $sign. So if you go $spot, $sign hood, then you'll get involved with this one and we'll be able to check it out together. Pending home sales coming out at 10 a.m. We're expecting plus 0.2%, so maybe there's something there. Here goes NVIDIA. Finally looks like we'll get that dollar club winner. We have multiple dollar loser if we held the whole thing on StarBucks. That's still getting lower, man. That's 91.50 right now. That's really come off. StarBucks is now red pretty violently on the day. So we tried chasing this thing basically at 92 back and forth. Lost most of the money early just on this move, and then we just tried 92 a bunch of times. That doesn't want to work out for us. So right now it's NVIDIA and MRVL, the 2 names that we're on right now. And I did want to look at JP Morgan if and when we break 300, but that's not there yet.
Bigger for Coinbase.
Yeah, JP Morgan doesn't seem to care too much about that news right here.
Well, not that it's not like it's bad news for JP Morgan.
Right.
But they just make so much money that when you add another arrow to the quiver, it's like, it's good, but like it doesn't, is it going to move the stock?
Yeah, it's like, it's not like a bazooka or anything.
Whereas if it's Coinbase, it moves them. So just very quickly.
Is this Randy again?
What up, Randy?
Oh my God, Randy.
Chilling. SMCI just lost 61, so we'll play VWAP again, but 60 to 61, and we'll try to do it a second time here if we get back into the downside. But we got to go over. SMCI blasting, 3.8% to the upside. Wow. NVIDIA at the high of the day, 178 better hold. This is now forming a trend line, which I'll draw in a second for you because that'll be my out. AMD, which is the first time the chips are always strong. AMD is still blasting 178. So yesterday we were talking about who gets to 200 first. NVIDIA passes AMD in 40 cents.
Oh, wait, what is the price?
40 cents. It's 40 cents.
178.40. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so NVIDIA is...
Perfect.
All yesterday, AMD was ahead of NVIDIA, but maybe we get a little bit of a flip. That said, AMD gets the report first, everybody. So they get first crack at a big earnings move. Let's go to the desk, I believe. Adara has an update.
Keep an eye here in Biohaven, guys. This looks like a small cap runner. DeJour Sharif sometimes likes to say Biohaven, $1.46 billion market cap. So not super small, but certainly within that small cap range, trading around just above that, or just around that $16 level. Sorry, we have a short float of 15%, float of around 90 million shares. So BHVN on watch again. We do have that pending home sale print coming through at 10 a.m. And we're getting comments from White House senior advisor and leader of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett is also one of the individuals being tapped to potentially lead the Federal Reserve. He said that at the White House, they 100% respect Fed dependence, but he thinks that they'll catch up soon with regards to the rate. So interesting interesting comments here coming from Kevin Hassett. He is very pleased with that GDP print we got this morning. Back to you.
I don't think that's 100% of anything right now from the White House and the Fed. What they will agree on is if there's a rate cut, they'll be pretty happy
Then they're
about
100% behind that.
You'll see the truths flying right there today. If at 2 p.m. we do get that rate cut, and of course it's 98% chance that we do not get that rate cut. What's up, Fabian?
That'll be 99 by the time.
Oh my God, there it is. There it is in the background over there. Yeah, yeah. By the time, well.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Well, 99, yeah. I mean, you've got 99 problems. The Fed cut isn't one, I don't think. I don't think that will be coming out right there today. So we'll wait for it and see what's going on there. Day 2 play, we had some action on Spotify. Spotify yesterday reported not a great number and then worried about the downside play there on Spotify. We talked about some of the alternatives that have come in for Spotify, and they've always been there. The Apple Musics of the world, whatever you guys are listening on right there. But YouTube Music was also something that we had talked about yesterday, but it looks like today they're getting a little bit of a bounce. I think there was it on the upgrade or downgrade side, Spotify this morning? Yeah, upgrade. So there you go. So again, comes into some levels there, 620 for Spotify. I think when you get a day 2 upgrade, I think that's real nice. What screwed me up with Starbucks was multiple analyst upgrades this morning as well. So like you want to talk about analysts, come on, man. Analysts owe me some money on that one right there. Like you're upgrading a stock that's falling down now 8%.
8%?
Yeah, it was up 5.
Oh yeah, because it was up.
Yeah. So you're down 8%, literally from the highs. Right now, Starbucks getting absolutely crushed. If you like the name, but right there, I think it's giving you a good opportunity to buy. We are all excited there about Starbucks. You know, their turnaround is here. Everything is great to go. Brian Nichol talks all about everything, and then whoosh, right there to the downside right now. Looking for a bid at 90 would make sense. It looks like right here, if it's going to catch a bid, and some of those analysts right now worry about their jobs, but we'll see if it can come back up to the upside right now. NVIDIA, we were able to take something out, a lot out actually at 178 and change. Yeah, what happened now?
Well, the couple, Midwest RW, you can't spell analyst without...
Yeah.
You guys know.
I've seen that before.
And another one, Explorer 12, Rob Palmer, never trust an analyst. I know because I am one.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to you, Rob Palmer.
Shout out, Rob.
Yeah, we have all kinds of viewers, and we appreciate all of them. You just try to keep it clean. I love that you didn't finish it, so we could actually see that message.
We went long Starbucks anyways.
NVIDIA, I trailed out when it lost the trend. It broke the trend line. That was where my out was going to be. 170. It went 177 to 78 anyways. And I'll get to SoFi in a quick little second. So SMCI was pretty clean. Obviously, NVIDIA was pretty clean. But Alphabet just went red again.
Oh, no.
So another failed breakout trade. So this one doesn't work out. I had a breakout earlier. The dip buys were okay. We got some scalp trades on the dip buys. But the breakout failed, and we like the breakout first. So we'll be red on that one. But there is something I like short. And I said I would come back to this if at the opening range, fail the breakout, short the volume weighted average price. We're not at the volume weighted average price on Intel, but the pattern was let it drop, and when it comes back and tests VWAP, we get into it. So I'm just gonna park in order at 51 to start to get in. It did try to break away a few cents higher, so I probably do need to give this to at least 57, 58, if not the high of the day. But I'm gonna short back in on any pops over here. The market is threatening, like it wants to go back red. All we've done so far is fail the low break, fail the high break on the Nasdaq, and sit in the middle. Not that surprising. We've had it, we have the Fed tonight, we have monster earnings, so it could make some sense that we get a little bit of whipsaw action back and forth. So I want to try and be a little bit nimble. That's why we jumped out of Google, we jumped out of NVIDIA, but we'll still buy the dips. If it's trending up, you buy the dips. If it's trending down, then you short the pops, which I'm going to try to do over there in Intel. The other name that I think we got to be paying attention to that I forgot about on a day 2 play was Uber. They got, well, it was like Waymo news going into Dallas. And this is now holding, oh no, I'm missing, oh, that chart's jacked. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. This one's holding underneath the afternoon highs on Uber. No chance to be able to short it yet at that 87.8. So we'll be patient looking for a pop for continuation short in Uber.
Guys, hit the like and the subscribe button right now if you're part of this crew. I mean, we've been doing, hopefully it's good talk today. We've had a lot of fun. We got Joe back in the building as well. And we've put on lots of trades, talked about lots of different names. Right now, 871 likes, just 871 likes. Over 9,600 of you watching. Thank you so much for doing that. Make sure you do join us back at about 1:45 to 2 o'clock, as will Neil and I will be back on, and we're going to be talking everything about the Fed rate cut. That will not be happening. It'll be hopefully, well, you know what?
Well, if it does happen.
Yeah, let's spark up some interest here. I think they are going to have a rate cut.
If they do a rate cut,
then you want to make sure you join us live.
I'm punching long in IWM.
Something, yeah.
You
mentioned that before.
I already said, if it's a surprise rate cut, it's not going to happen, but I'll have a level 2 up anyways on the outside chance that it does, just punching long the Russell. I don't know what, there's probably other things that you could do, but that's the first thing that I want to think about. And then when we go to September, if they don't cut in September, then I'm shorting the Russell.
Okay.
I just try to keep it relatively simple there.
We like that trade.
Man, this is hymns. I somehow hope that Steve got back into this, or somehow magically is still in it.
Steve?
Steve?
Yeah, he did get, good call.
The Novo thing.
I think I'm a Minecraft there for a minute.
If you take, Steve,
what's up, Steve?
No, but if you take away that Novo bad news, it was structurally a good looking long trade. And then of course the Novo news, and it's filled in the entirety of the gap here, hymns. All of it. And Novo is in the dumps. We'll look at that in a second.
And 66. I don't think this market's very good anymore.
It's not. I'm just. NVDA looks good. SMCI looks good, but I'm not seeing too much else. I mean, HIMS, this could be breaking a monster level here on the daily. 66 change is going to be that
there
high.
goes MRVL.
It's got lots of room. Got to try to get in on this trend. Anything trending up, I want to pivot away from. If a plan of action was alphabet long, and it lost the trend, then I'm looking for something to replace it. Because the next available dip, I'm going to get NVIDIA, and hopefully SMCI gives it to me, but I got to find something else to go long that's actually strong as the market comes in. Let's go to Adara. It's almost 10 o'clock. We got it happening now. We got some numbers to drop.
Yeah.
We're just waiting here in about 10 seconds for pending home sales. Month over month, 0.2% was the forecast here. Previous print of 1.8%. So we are expecting a month over month decline. We did get actually lower than expected print. So negative 0.8% here for pending home sales month over month versus 0.2% forecast and 1.8% previous. Pending homes index a little bit lower than the previous print as well. 72 versus last month's print of 72.6. Nasdaq not super reactive to this, making a slightly higher low there, but pretty choppy. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, see how it's doing. Nice bounce here. This one a little bit flatter bottom than the Nasdaq, but with some slightly lower highs as well. So both the SPY and the Nasdaq pretty choppy so far today as we await that FOMC decision. Starbucks on watch. This name really weak here off of earnings. Other day one's earnings plays include Altria, MO, we have VRT, we have VFC, and we have Visa, amongst others. Then, of course, tonight we'll get Meta and Microsoft, Coinbase, Hood, Carvana, and others. Then we're taking a look at Coinbase here, COIN on watch. JP Morgan, notably known in the past for not being super crypto-friendly, actually announcing a partnership with Coinbase to expand crypto access for their users. So great look here for COIN, at least initially. Tons of names to watch today, guys. Make sure you join us today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content as we send you back to the guys.
All right, thank you for that one, Adara. Well, I was just saying, I don't really think this market is that great here. I mean, we went to the strong names. I mean, Neil was just mentioning NVIDIA. We did go back to the well here and took an AMD trade this time. So, okay, it's working out for us. Let's offer some 30s up here as AMD tries to get back into the highs of the day, 178.50. We're long AMD right now, 178. So it's a nice 30-cent win, making a little bit of money back from some of these disastrous trades that we've had so far here today. I mean, some of them have been worked out. I said to Neil again, the only one that had worked out really was NVIDIA, and it got up to 178 there a couple times, and we took a 177 break. But MRVL broke lower on me there. We got out at 83, most of the shares. The 200 period is right there at 82.70, so we'll see if we can get something else there and then try to respect that as a move. But MRVL at least holding some of the highs, up 9% today. And here, hopefully here it goes. We can see if we can get something breaking through VWAP. 83.50 would be an area for me of concern there. But it looks like it's AMD that's going to be sort of the kicker right now, taking out new Is it new highs? I'm gonna put another offer. Okay, we just got an offer at 40. Yeah, there it is right there. So 178.60. We'll see if we could take that out. Despite what the market's doing, AMD upside. So that's why I'm thinking to myself, let's take some more out right here. So let's get, there we go. Get some 30s. Now we'll wait to see if we can get that 35, 40 area again. Because if this market continues to go down, we're toast. We have 3-4 longs right now. Starbucks was an okay bid back in there, but we're gonna have to wait to see if this market does get going. Tesla could hold some of the keys right now. I mean, it's been pretty flat. If this wants to take off, maybe it brings the market with it right now, but Tesla pretty flat there into the day. And then tomorrow's big earnings, and we have tonight as well, so we can look all over this. Yeah, I bought some Apple yesterday or the day before in the account at 212. So right now, that's out of the money for me, down to 210. And I just thought the valuation was pretty good, and I liked Apple where it was right into here. So we picked up a little bit. We're not going to go crazy. This isn't a long-term account. Looking to see if Apple performs well or not off earnings. And if we dip back into this area, I think we'll buy some more 195 or so. Apple earnings after market tomorrow. Today we've got Meta and Microsoft. I feel for myself, I don't know about you, Neil, I said that I think Microsoft, just chart-wise, is in a little bit of a better position. And then,
I agree with that. I like Meta better.
Here goes the
that's
market
just self-serving because that was, that was my, outside of NVIDIA, that was my Mag 7 dip buy this year. Right. So look, I like the stock better. I like the company a little bit better. Obviously, Microsoft has done much better than I had expected. That said, Microsoft has been a beast. Yeah, it feels to me, it feels like there's just been a buy program on for months on Microsoft, and there's been no stopping it. There was a sell program yesterday on PayPal because they were down on earnings, and today it's trying to bounce. I said if it tried to bounce off the 70 level, we'd take a shot, but we just held yesterday's low and tried to break the trend, so I grabbed the long. Want to play this one into the volume-weighted average price. I can tell you that SMCI is gone again.
Oh, is it?
$62 now on SMCI. We're not getting VWAP again. That is not happening. You've blasted through. There was no resistance at yesterday's highs. This is now just full. It's a squeeze. Oh yeah, this chart. I have to go to a lot higher time frame chart for you guys because that's not split adjusted. So SMCI, and let's go to a weekly. SMCI's got room. Like a lot of room if it can get past $64. But that's the obvious next area of resistance at 64. I'm not saying I go short at 64, but the long, if I get another long, it's going to be into the 64 level. I'm hoping we can get something into the prior high and a pullback, but this is now way too parabolic to chase. So SMCI, once again, just ridiculously strong. SoFi, haven't taken a single trade on it. I wanted the pop and fade at the open at 21. It gave it to you, but I wasn't there. We were trading a bunch of long trades at that moment, which was fine, except for Google. But now that it's breaking through, no point fighting it. Could not break the low, so you had a scalp trade at best, and now this is suddenly looking strong. So PayPal off those lows is the new one for me, playing that one at the volume-weighted average price. They beat across the board. It was good earnings for PayPal. Yep. But the market decided, you know what, it's like a Starbucks situation, right? Ultimately, the market does what the market does, regardless of what you think of the company or the earnings.
Yeah, you're right about that one. And we got crushed on Starbucks. That was not a good one. We're back into it right now, but I mean, whatever, man. 15 cents on Starbucks? Come on, bro. All right, AMD. AMD's kind of saving a little bit the net right now. We're able to make some money, decent money back on AMD right now because it's going higher right now. I also got filled Pan W. So.
Oh, snap.
Palo Alto, obviously we get filled at 180. I mean, it's down through 178 right now. We talked about that deal yesterday with CyberArt, something like that, SYBR.
SYBR.
So, yeah, making the move down there. CyberArk, yeah, so right there. So I don't know if I guess they don't really like this deal, but they're fine. There's the push up, maybe paid a little bit too much. And that's what winds up happening when analysts, again, which we no longer trust, by the way, just joking. Well, we don't really.
Unless they're our viewers.
Yeah, if you guys want to upgrade stocks, I'm down with that. But right there's the play. I guess people thinking, and definitely the market believing that Palo Alto, Pan W, paid a little bit too much for them because nothing to do with Palo Alto. They haven't guided anything worse or made any moves themselves other than that. So right there, a nice little push down there, boom, for Pan W. Let's see if it can get going into the open market now and see if some buyers come in and support that stock just a little bit. All right, so NVIDIA, again, the king just keeps on proving itself. Yeah, kinging it.
That's
right there. It doesn't make any sense. Nice one. But yeah, there it goes. 178 and change, still making moves higher goes NVDA. So yeah, man, we're just gonna sit in here and in all of these longs, man. We've got 4 longs. The only one that's been a disaster so far today is SBUX. We just talked about that key 90 level, so we're gonna see if it holds down there again. We were able to pick up some down here at 90.50 and get them out at 91.20, 91.13s, but drop down there for SBUX, not well received today on their earnings. So yeah, down now almost 8 or 9% from the open, right? 98.50 was, we punched long at 98.30s or whatever that was there on that break, but not good. We were able to get out of it. We should have just held our breath there and waited for this, but we tried again at 95. That didn't work. We tried at 93, battled with it at 92, and now finally we're long down here. Might be a good one. All right, AMD right now, yes, sir. This name trying to go back up, so we're really happy with our performance today on advanced micro devices and NVIDIA. It's just funny how, you know, as day traders,
it's always the chips.
Yeah, we got to stay in names that continue to be strong, and right now it's the chip name.
It's hilarious. Like every single day, the chips
else?
Have been the best stocks for me, and it's the same thing again today. And really, you could just punch long on the dip on every single one of them. So look, first of all, SMCI is going still ham. Micron's up 2% and breaking out.
Oh, the SoFi trade worked
AMD,
perfectly
that's going.
too. Oh.
And yeah, SoFi actually did up. Man, it gave that initial push off 21 short, but I missed the initial 21 short. What are you going to do? But Micron looking super strong. You could just look at SMH, of course, to get an idea of what's going on with these chip names. But really, you want to find like the strongest out there and then just go with that. And right now, the ones that are breaking, well, the one that was breaking the highs all morning was SMCI. Now it's pulling back. Hopefully we get our first pullback in it. Got to move to VWAP up here on NVIDIA because I'm buying the dip on NVIDIA. But it's SMCI up 5% that is only now pulling back. Where? Into prior high. So we're looking for this to get to the prior high. Hold it, and then we go to the upside. Apparently we're missing Boeing and Circle moves.
Okay.
Circle actually going to the upside. I paid for locates on this today. CoreWeave is short every single day. Circle, meh. But CoreWeave every single day seems like a good short. When Circle starts going, be careful because you get that meme crazy stablecoin type of vibe every now and then. It can start to go. This has been trying to break a downward trend. Here, 180 looks like it's held very, very nicely. I don't really see too much of a trade here. I'm not standing in front of that freight train.
Damn it, man.
No, I'm not. I don't want to short this name. It looks like a pretty good hold at 180, and it's right through this 190 support, and then holding it again. Forget about that. Let somebody else short it. I paid for locates. It doesn't mean I have to use them on Circle. That looks really good. I want to try to get back into this SoFi before it gets to the volume-weighted average price. That's first course of action.
Yeah, we're not. Damn, man. We're not happy with our SoFi play because, you know, when you put out plays every day, you know, some of them are going to work and some of them obviously aren't. And of course, the only one that we don't take right there was SoFi. There it is right there, 20.50. Support this low. We have an offering. It's a long. And so right into there for SoFi, it's nice to see that at least that trade. Obviously, the only one that really hasn't worked has been SBUX, but there's SoFi right there. What did we write down? 20.50 long. The low of the day is $20.43. And it's not like that happened right off the open. You know, it dipped down here at 9.45. So there was lots of opportunities for traders to get involved with that price. And there it goes right up there, straight up $1 from that play. Not straight up, but once we break the pre-market high was even another good trade. That was a trade we had yesterday down there in SoFi. So yeah, some of the nuclear names there yesterday and today seem to want to go upside even more now. SMR, we talked about trading names that are popular, names that have been moving around and so on and so forth. Looks like SMR right now continues to be one of those names in the right space, right? Nuclear's been hot for a minute, so is quantum. Obviously these chip names, anything AI related has been good. SMR right now looking to take out its most recent high, which would be all-time highs, $54. I'm still long this name, you know, low teens. It's been pretty good. We really like SMR. We like NNE as well. They had a downside push the other day as well, NNE, but yeah, right there, $42 coming back in now, bouncing off the 50-period moving average. That could be one. IONQ, another name in the space that remains pretty hot right now in the No. Sorry, IonQ is computing. What we're looking for was Oklo.
Yeah,
so Oklo is the other name that remains pretty hot fire right now as well. Upside. Any kind of downgrades on this space, I think, probably needs to be bought right now. Some of these companies don't even make money yet.
I'm slapping the downgrade on the group if one of the hyperscalers drops their CapEx spend. I said this. It didn't happen with Google, so I was very happy with that, and I didn't take any profit on GE Vernova, but I am flat out 100%, and I might even, I don't know, well, we will be live on the show, but I'll probably be looking to sell this. If I see a number I don't like on CapEx from Softy or from Meta or, this is flown way too high. I expect SMR to make moves like this and have a chart like this. I don't necessarily expect GE Vernova to have a chart like this. It's been great after earnings, but at some point, you've got to ring the register on things that look like that. So that's what I'm looking for. And if they continue to go strong, maybe I wait for like $700 or slap some kind of a trail on some of this. But at the end of the day, the hyperscalers rule these nuclear plays. And anyone moving up on that, that's the number that you're waiting for. You almost don't care as much, unless you own Meta, you almost don't care much about the rest of it. Let's go to Adara, see what's going on at the desk.
Yeah.
Great look for FTAI. This is not a small cap. This name is about a 13, almost $14 billion market cap, 100 million share float. Day one earnings play. They released their earnings after the close yesterday. FTAI Aviation, Q2, earnings per share and sales beat for this one. About 5% short float. Great look, guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara, for all of that. We're finally getting some kind of, fudge you, Starbucks, man, honestly. We're finally getting some movement here on Starbucks. We were able to get out at 50s there, but then the sellers just come right back in and mash this thing up again. So we're just going to sort of, like I keep saying, man, lick our wounds here on Starbucks. We have a long here at 90.30. We were just getting some out there in the 50s, and then it blasted back to the downside. So I just offered some right there at 30 and got out for flat. On a break back down below 90, we're going to get out of this name. So it's worth the 30-cent risk to me, and I thought that was going to go there. And if it does, I mean, why can't we revisit up here 92.50 and change? It doesn't want to go up. So unfortunately, this will be stopped out in just a couple pennies. And we did take advantage of those bump ups there. So we do have some good outs on Starbucks, but definitely the sleeping giant right there that was woken up today and not traded that well by me. All right, so unless you had the short, you couldn't have won. So we didn't win. All right, so there goes NVIDIA though. This is a winning stock, a big one. Like if I don't have Starbucks today, then we're at our multiple daily goals, but we do. So now we're down multiple daily goals on that one. So we're going to have to wait. But there goes NVIDIA right now. Nice move higher. We've got $1 on NVIDIA. We've got to look at MRVL. Oh, boy. That one's working out right now for us, man. A couple dip buys. We did get stopped out there on MRVL. We did turn ourselves red on that name quickly, but then we bought it right, or maybe not, but we bought it right back there off the 200 period moving average once again. It was just holding it. We could have got longer there, but we already had made our bed there, and now we have to sleep in it. So now that MRVL goes back upside, the bed's feeling a little more comfortable in that play there as well. And then AMD, more outs near 179. I mean, why not take that out as well? With SoFi's move higher, we could look at a WEBL. We do have tonight, of course, we have Robinhood. I mean, the biggest and the baddest of them all, Robinhood. And what I mean by that is just that Joe's back in the building, so you're going to get multiple bangs and all this when we hear stuff about Robinhood. So yeah, that's going to be a good stock. WEBL also trying to take out $14. That's a level for sure. I mean, it was yesterday's low. So I think if WEBL gets going there, that would be a good little level there. And let's just check this out for Joe right now. Wow, we're starting to go now. Let's go Starbucks. Yeah, there is another 2.5% for Robinhood. So the implied move there, I'll have to check it out for Robinhood because I don't have it on my board right now. I'll have to get that up. But, report after hours right there. I think it's heated, and I can't recommend the long at these prices. But hey, man, I mean, earnings have created huge trading opportunities in this name. So join, Neil and I don't know if it's gonna be Sharif, Neil and Adair for sure tonight on the recap show. They'll be going over all of that. Wow, man, there goes Starbucks. We should take a little bit of this out back up in the 60s. At least it's finally starting to go for us. SBUX.
Get going, Starbucks. 9.8% Robinhood expected move tonight. So suffice to say, we're expecting a little bit more movement out of Robinhood than we are out of Meta and Microsoft. SMCI doesn't hesitate to move. That's just how it goes. The chip names don't hesitate to move. Really, the theme this week is go long the chips and forget about everything else. That's except for Intel. Except for Intel. Go long all the other chips except for Intel, and then you almost can't go wrong. It doesn't get to VWAP, but I said if it got to the prior day high and bounced there, prior day high, bounce there, get long. I want to look to play out into the high of the day. I do expect, look, a lot of times that opening push on the 15 or in the first half an hour, you can see on a Fed day that is your high and it'll hold for the rest of the day. So I want to respect it. Usually I think pull back into VWAP. If I'm buying it higher, I'm going to take it step by step. PayPal was more of it's an SSR bounce, so just bouncing off of yesterday's lows. And given the fact that the short sell rule is in effect here, so the uptick rule is in effect, it just makes it a little bit easier to rise, as every time it tries to like curl at a level like this or go down, only people with a long position can hit the bid unless the last print was green. So it's trying to go to VWAP. That's where my target is. That is a moving target because the volume weighted average price moves throughout the day. If you don't know how that works, we have a great video on VWAP that you can all check out. No way. First of all, Arcanagla. When is the Fed meeting? The Fed meeting's at 2 o'clock. And it's a rate announcement today, right? So we have the Fed. It will be a rate announcement, and you'll get at 2, which will be no change. And then we're going to have still be a prepared statement. They'll go through that. Powell hits the podium at 2:30, and the Q&A matters a little bit more. We'll have Powell in the corner with little captions, and generally speaking, that's where the market gets a little more trendy in the afternoon, is when Powell starts to answer some questions. We don't know what he's going to get asked, but that's where the fireworks generally are. Because unless there's a surprise or they're moving the rates, then the actual announcement at 2 is a little bit of a nothing burger there. So I know a lot of people are looking at that HIMS stock. Just only been long, and what hasn't been that exciting of a overall market, you have to find the right names. HIMS, case in point, pure squeeze play. Absolutely pure squeeze play. I thought this stock was temporarily done after that NOVO blow up, and all it did is stair step it and continue to climb. It's having trouble with 66 for obvious reasons on that daily chart, everybody. But wow, this could be wild. I don't know if it's going to qualify to be in the small cap recap, but it's moving like one today. Let's go to Adair and see how the others are going.
Honestly, Neil, now I kind of wish I had put it in the small cap recap because it's moving a little bit better than some of the names I have on here. Some of these small cap movers have already given up a bit of the move, but something that certainly hasn't is the IWM. As Neil mentioned earlier, this is absolutely a name to watch with these Fed meetings because these small caps are very rate sensitive. IWM actually breaking out of this flat top around 224 that we started forming pre-market, continued into the day. Right now we're heading into 224.20. Nice, even from yesterday, we're seeing higher lows and higher highs. A great look for the IWM. Let's see if it can maintain that. That being said, we are quite a ways away from yesterday's high of day, which we made basically right off the open around 225.70. Here's XBP. This is XBP Europe finalizing his acquisition of Excella Technologies BPA. They're going to be rebranding here as XBP Global. So good look here for XBP, that this name has moved quite a bit off of its high of day. SUPX with an NVIDIA related catalyst. Those are always pretty strong here, especially for these small caps. SuperX unveiling a new AI server with 8 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs. Last but not least, REPL, Replimune. That's one that moved yesterday, moving pretty nicely today as well. REPL, worth noting, about almost 13% short float, I believe about 12.8% short float for Replimune. Another one that I saw just popping in my radar as I moved over is a name that's going to be familiar to these small cap traders, VWAV. This one, really strong. Vision Wave Holdings, up about $5 here from the opening price, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Adair. Just real frustrating morning because I just messaged the wife. We can't buy Starbucks anymore. We have lost way too much money on. We lost more money than it's not a thing. But it's just I throw up a little bit here because we're we're almost back to green on all the, on our day, and we just threw up all over ourselves on Starbucks. Like, if we don't have this trade today, this is an absolute banger of a day. But ifs and buts, what are you supposed to do, right? So, anyways, we are still long this name. It's $1 in the money or so right now, off 90. So we're gonna have to wait to see if it can go a little bit higher. We have cleared out. We're out of 60% of this trade. So okay, so far as it starts to go. But look what we're doing right now. It's $1 in on Starbucks. It's $1.50 on NVIDIA. It's $1.80 on MRVL. It's $1.25 on AMD. So, I mean, right here, I know Neil only has one position. I've got 4 positions, and that's different. Normally I hold more. Neil will trade more positions, but I generally will have more positions on board.
This is the style. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I get, like, I'll take more positions, but that's because I have like a really specific in out.
Yeah, you're in and out.
Like, I'll be in and out faster.
Yeah, exactly. So there goes MRVL. I'm just saying right now you have PayPal on. We've got MRVL. So right now we're in the money in total, $6 or so, but that's irrelevant. Like, I'm not happy with what we had lost there on Starbucks. So hopefully it can get going. We didn't actually get over there and take advantage of that most recent move higher. So let's just punch out of something right here. There we go. You can see we just wiped down a little bit there, get some out at 18s. So now there goes Starbucks. Hey, look, hopefully we'll be able to get green. It's just lost a little bit too much there on SBUX right now. So that's okay. And then SoFi, again, the missed trade for me, because that should be $1 and that would have put us where we need to be. But yeah, right now we'll go to Adair, then we'll hear about that PayPal trade. But yeah, so far so good, man. We've made back like a lot. I'll leave it at that. What's up, Adair?
An Apple here, CCTV, that's I guess China's national television station. They're reporting that China's commerce minister is meeting executives from both Boeing and Apple. So again, BA and AAPL executives reportedly meeting with the commerce minister of China, according to Chinese state media. BA is also on watch anyways with a day 2 earnings move. So keep an eye on these tickers. Apple expected to report tomorrow. Back to you.
Tomorrow after the bell, we get Apple, but I want to give a shout out to Trade the Pool.
Yeah.
Because during earnings season, lots of people look to swing on earnings. Well, with their Trade the Pool swing trading programs, you can get access to up to $40,000 in buying power and trade real shares and not CFDs. You can hold positions overnight, over the weekend, and enjoy limited risk thanks to a one-time evaluation fee. No monthly payments, no hidden costs. Take Vicente J, for example, one of the Trade the Pool swing traders. He's already locked in over $23,000 in profits, and his top performer was NMAX. He shorted it April 20th to May 30th and pulled in close to $7,000 in gains. Trade the Pool's giving swing traders the tools, the time, and the capital to thrive. Scan the QR code you see in front of you and enjoy 10% off. Someone in the chat asked, Neil, why did you get out of SMCI? Because it ran my stop. Now, I'm very... if I'm long here, when it bounces off VWAP, my stop is there. So it doesn't break the stop, so I'm in it. I go long there, my stop goes just underneath the prior bar, I'm out. Now, ultimately, I could have held on to it. It's still coming back in now. I think I wait for the volume weighted average price next. But you asked why I'm out of SMCI, because those are like the pot shots that I take. It's similar to, PayPal's no different for me. It broke the trend. I get in the long. Now I have to move actually, it's a good thing I'm mentioning this now because it just broke back above 71. So this prior little support level on PayPal is starting to break, which means my stop moves to just about break even, a little bit underneath break even, and I'm playing it into the volume weighted average price. So just trying to stick to the plan every single time. We want to get this one going green if it can, but my goodness, it's not just HIMS that is going for us by,
wow. For us by you.
Yeah, FUBO.
FUBO.
It's not really, but I like saying that line because we love FUBO. 20% to the upside now for FUBO, breaking through that vaunted 420 level, which is such a problem for so many stocks, and breaking out on the daily chart. This one looks very, very strong. I still think, obviously a lot of these squeeze type plays, you want to make sure you're taking profit. But this doesn't look like I know 20% is a lot, but when you go back to that daily chart, it doesn't even look like it's gone that far on this most recent break. It seems like it's got some room to get going for FUBO. We always joke around. We don't know too many people with FUBO TV, but it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, not too bad, not too many or no one at all for
thought
myself.
we knew somebody.
Did we know someone with a FUBO TV? We know some Rokus, I thought, but I don't know. FUBO?
Oh, it was Roku.
I don't know. I just don't know enough
No,
about
it was
it.
Roku. But FUBO, I don't know, some people use it for sports. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, just reviewing again, Starbucks, you know, able to get some out. We'll see if we can hold and if there is some sort of a push forward here on SBUX. I mean, we can probably put our day back to Greensville right now. NVIDIA, I mean, why do we ever trade anything other than NVIDIA? I'll never know. This is the only break right there for me. Like if I was just NVIDIA this month, wow, no, that's not true. We're having a great month. I was just thinking like if only focused on one stock, but whatever. Then you don't have AMD and you don't have these other names, right? And so, all right, with earnings tonight, we talked about Microsoft and Meta coming through. Earnings from last night, VF Corp, so we can have a quick look to see what they're doing. Okay, nice downside play. And we talked about if it ever broke that 1550 area, looks like it tried to get there right off the open, does not, and fades out. So this name, although not as nasty as Starbucks, still percentage-wise, almost the same amount down. VF Corp was over 20%, and that's where we indicated that, hey, man, maybe the short float might have something to say about that, and they would get blasted up, but it looks like they add to the shorts right here and go to the downside right now for VFC, so that has not been. Let's go, man. We're at our highest spot we've been at pretty much all day since dealing with Starbucks, so we were like very, very close to just like having a pretty bad day there, but we were able to find MRVL, AMD, NVIDIA, and then that bottom in SBUX. So that's been a big one for me as well. The missed opportunity, of course, is SoFi. Damn it, you darn SoFi, darn it, I guess. There's the one play. There's the NVIDIA 177 long. So obviously that's a face slapper right there. The MRVL, we're up on it. That's a face slapper right there. Fed day, that's today. Starbucks 98.50, where the heck is the biggest flush you've ever seen right there? That one is wrong. I thought we wanted to test $100. So, you know, again, we talk about being human. And then there's SoFi, $20.50. That was the long. And we said that, hey, let's just play off of that. We've seen these sort of things happen in the past where you get offerings into strong names. And that's what SoFi did. They probably did it good, man. They offered a day after earnings. I mean, they did everybody dirty. I got out yesterday, $24. But today here, $21.50, nice bounce back. Was down 7 or 8%, now only down 4. We talked about maybe buying some shares back. You might have missed that opportunity right now, but there's the break of 2090, the pre-market high. We were looking at 2050 as a dip buy, and why? Because it just held that rough area in the pre-market. So yeah, with no conviction on that trade, we should have been a little bit more confident over there with that one. Yeah, good call on that one. Everybody in the chat there, what's up to Bart Simpson right here, man? Eat my shorts is what Starbucks did today. Sharif liked that one. But there it goes, man. Good. I'm glad that you're long off the bottom with me. Man, but that was a rough ride. Oh, did we get this? What is this super chat? You got it already? Up almost 5K. Well, no one, I mean, I don't know what Neil's up, but I'm definitely not up 5K. Snow goblins.
What's a snow goblin?
Probably just for Canada. I know he's probably thinking that we have more snow here. But the thing is like, you live in upstate New York, pretty much all of the West, like Minnesota, anything like that. You know, we get better weather here than Detroit, than
Buffalo gets more.
Oh, forget about Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, come on, like when they're shoveling out the, I still call it Ralph Wilson, and I'll always call it Ralph Wilson Stadium, so just don't at me.
Yep.
Now, when they're shoveling out Ralph Wilson, or, you know, Lambeau for that matter, a lot of times we're chilling up here, and you don't even get that much. So yeah, we appreciate the super chat, but it's we don't live in igloos and all that kind of stuff up here. As a matter of fact, like the humidity's through the roof right now. So no snow goblins up here, but at the desk is Adara.
Yeah, here is USO. Just keep an eye on these oil and gas plays right now. We did just get our EIA gasoline inventories. Gasoline inventories negative 2.724 million versus negative 1.1 million expected, and the previous print of negative 1.738 million. So this print here lower than the forecast and the previous print. Right now, we have crude Cushing inventories as well, basically in line. EIA distillate inventories a bit higher than expected. We were expecting a negative print. We got a positive print. Other than that, really, we don't have much economic data until 2 p.m. We have Trump signing a congressional bill at 1 p.m., though as far as I know, that's actually going to be closed press, so unclear if we'll get anything to watch for that. Back to you.
Oh, it's presser.
And after market, we keep talking about Robinhood, but don't sleep on some of the names that are going to be sympathy to Robinhood. I see some people talking about WEBL in the chat. That's up 3% and pressing. We had positive news this morning for Coinbase, right? Like Coinbase and JP Morgan with a partner up. It makes all the sense in the world. They're two of the biggest and the baddest. Coin maybe not holding on to some of those highs. We talked about that 385.
MRVL.
Like it's 385 seller twice this morning, 385 seller in the morning yesterday. So clearly you've got some serious resistance on Coinbase. But this entire space has been blasting, whether it's Robinhood, whether it's SoFi, whether it's WEBL. Everyone is exciting and making these shifts for A, the crypto move, B, 24/5 trading, 24-hour trading, which will be 5 days a week. That's going to be coming in. You're going to have the PD2 rules going to be revamped at some point before that to drop that minimum down to 2,000 from 25. So there's a lot going on, and I'm looking at a bad trend on a 15-minute chart on Coinbase. And these names had been working, although Coinbase, it's a lot of red days in a row for Coinbase. It's starting to look like an attractive dip buy at some point. But I want to see this get through that 85 seller. That'll be more important. On the other side of that coin was PayPal yesterday with their disappointing move on earnings. Bit of a dead cat bounce here, just looking for, like I said, just looking for the volume weighted average price and underneath where it closed yesterday. There's your bottoming tail candle on volume. We always like that for a bit of a bounce. That's interesting. I've got like a black volume candle, which means it was a neutral candle. You don't see that very often, where it's all the volume was exactly even. I get rid of that tool. So we're looking for the volume weighted average price here on PayPal. As I said, I thought the quarter was good, but it doesn't matter what I think. That's the only position I'm in, is I just noticed the position board disappear when I pointed and reappear when I pointed back at it. What I love about this community is we have fun, including if $1 million was deposited into your account right now, what's your first move? Pay off every single debt, invest it all immediately, quit my job and travel, buy something ridiculously fun. I'm going to buy something ridiculously fun. What? Bruh. 5% of you would buy something ridiculously fun? Oh,
well, what would that be for you? You had $1 million. What would it be?
So, like, everyone's going to say that that's absurdly lame. Because I don't spoil myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge spender, but I would essentially just go out and buy every single Lego set that my wife is like, you're not getting that, you're not getting that. I'm gonna get the Death Star. I'm gonna get there's another Superstar Destroyer that I don't have. I'm gonna get the good Millennium Falcon. It's one thing that I've always wanted to do, and then since Aaron has been born, I find I don't spend as much money on myself, but I have this like dream of eventually when I'm older, having a room dedicated to all my just a Star Wars Lego room. My dad had a really good friend who owned a bunch of McDonald's franchises, and I got a chance to visit his house, and he was really into trains.
Oh, okay.
And he had the good Millennium Falcon. It's over.
I want to buy the real Millennium Falcon.
Well, it depends. Like, there's different versions, but like you can probably get it for like $1,500. Yeah, but Joe's just asking what the Millennium Falcon was. No, but this dude, he had his entire basement, just all massive, like the whole room, the whole basement of a decent-sized house was just this huge train set. He couldn't move because of it.
When you have passions like that.
And so I was like, okay, you know what? One day I would just love to do that, and there's no good reason for it. And absolutely, I'm a nerd. I have no trouble saying it. You love what you love. And I've always loved Star Wars. It's good memories because I used to see them in the theater with my pops. And I've said this before, like Star Wars because of my dad, James Bond because of my dad. He'd take us to all the movies when they came out. So we just sort of share those things. My brother's into it as well. Like my nephew, when he comes over, that's what we do. So, you just gotta do you. Like it's weird because it's like sports and Lego, which.
I'm going to get Neil that Millennium Falcon for his birthday. We're going to pool some money and get that because you, if you want it that badly, $1,500 doesn't seem that bad.
Well, it depends on
right there.
It just comes when the thing about it is,
it's Starbucks.
You always pair it to I can also spend what can I get my daughter for that? What's the trip that we can do? And I always spend that first. It's like, we can go away for a week.
Oh yeah, I haven't bought anything for myself in
you do that
20-something years.
That's the thing when you have kids, you just
for sure. I mean, I buy some shoes every once in a while.
Yeah.
But when you have kids, I have 3 kids, dude. You have one
What would
kid.
you do, though? What was your answer? The one.
My answer was invested in the market immediately.
Okay.
$1 million for me. I'm not trying to say that
Another
like
smart
that's
answer.
not a lot of money or anything like that, but it's. I'm never quitting my job. I'm trying to retire earlier. So I mean, that would help doing that. That's for sure. But other than that, pay off every single debt. Well, don't. You know, that's not a thing. And then buy something ridiculously fun. I mean, yeah, to your point, I mean, my daughter just got $400 skates delivered to her. She got a $400 stick last week. Baxter's in school. So, I mean, I don't even, the money I even make from the show just goes into my account. This is my account right here. This is the money coming in. This is the money coming out. And that lasts about 34 minutes in my account. So that's about the best it is there. Yeah, it doesn't even last. What am I talking about? Negative in my account.
34 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's less than that, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, because all the money goes out and in real quick. That's why I put everything on the credit card.
Oh, get them points, baby.
Make them points right there. I'm all about the points.
You know what Big Smile is about?
What's he about?
Big Smile. Am I the only one who would give it to Aunt Nancy to trade for me?
Yes, you are the only one.
You know what? She does have an inside track. But can't you? No, but there's an ETF for that.
Yeah, exactly. You could do that right now.
You put it right into the. It's just Nance, right? NANC.
Yeah.
Yeah, unusual whales is what it's called. So you can just put that 1 million into. This doesn't do any volume. 4,000 shares volume on the day.
Some of these ETFs were created for out of nonsense.
Well, I mean, is this doing any better than just buying the SPY?
SPY, and probably doing worse. Spiders outperform everything.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's not even as good. Maybe the Nance ETF isn't as good as I thought. How is it doing 0 volume? That's got to be. That's trash. Anyways, moving on. She's had some good buys. I thought.
Oh, great buy. No, she's great.
I thought that would be performing better.
No, but it's ETF.
That's ETF. I don't know what's in it. I don't know when they're tracking.
And they can only make the plays after she does.
Yeah, like how? Like at what point do they find out what she's bought, and then they're X amount of time behind? There's a lot that goes into that might not make it very good. So yeah, throw that one out the window is my opinion. Yeah,
I wouldn't do that big spile, but yeah, I mean, again, following some of her trades, you've been on the AI front a lot of those times, right? You had Tempest, their AI, NVDA was like a big, huge play for her as well. So, I mean, I just think it's like, play with some of the best names out there and you'll be fine, right? I mean, I went in today and bought some more Pan W's. Now we're actually a little in the money on this trade as we got basically 180 flat as well. So that should be okay for us. But there goes Pan W right now. Again, buying big names, good quality names. I think we like that as an overall idea. All right, man. I mean, to make money on MRVL is one thing. To give it back is something else. So we, once we got right back into this area right there, 84.90s, like this was, look at how much this has dropped right here. So we're pretty flat on this name right now. So we're happy with our positioning right now on MRVL, but we are about to get stopped out once this does break 82.50. So that was sort of that low right there. We'll see if we can pick up some more down here because of this move. It's not really going with the market, but I couldn't be, I don't know. I don't know if Neil's green or red today, but for me, like happy enough to be red where we are. We were lucky enough to pick that bottom up there on SBUX and make some decent money back, other than how much we had lost earlier trying to chase this thing down. That was a very, very bad trade early for me there on SBUX. But again, SBUX reported, VFC reported, a name that I think we want to. Are we going to Adara, by the way?
We didn't even talk about Mara reporting.
Oh yeah, Mara reports as well.
They did report.
Did report, yeah. Boeing, a good name today, although my charts for some reason don't want to load right now. So we're going to fix that and go over to Adara with Sector Watch.
Both the S&P 500 and Nasdaq slightly positive on the day. That's more or less in line than what we're seeing with this sector watch. We have a lot of sectors that are kind of gray or flat in the day. Retail trade relatively flat, though CVS reporting tomorrow morning is having a great session. Consumer durables pretty flat. Process industries very mixed here. Technology services actually flat here, both Microsoft and Meta not doing too much ahead of their earnings reports, but Palantir and Netflix stronger in this sector. Electronic technology having another pretty solid day. NVIDIA, Broadcom, AMD, all to the upside, all receiving positive notes pre-market from Morgan Stanley. Boeing flying up here. ANET on watch, Cisco strong. So this sector, electronic technology, having quite a few standouts to the upside. Finance looking pretty good here. JPM, Visa, both lightly green. Eli Lilly leading the health tech sector to the upside. Consumer and non-durables pretty mixed, though we do have a MO and Mondelez moving up and down respectively on earnings day one. Producer manufacturing with some strength. Energy minerals, probably the weakest sector on the day as a whole. All of these names pretty red, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, just look, I appreciate this super chat.
What was it?
And I don't mind it. Let's get started, everybody, for Neil's Millennium Falcon. We can hit 1,500 by the end of the day. Look, I love the community. I appreciate it. You know, at the end of the day, the super chats go to make the show bigger and better. Sometimes we'll have, you guys want to send us in for us to have a drink and for us to have, you know, grab some wings or whatever, to go to Joe to get some apple pie or to go to this renovation. That's what it's all about. We're not doing it so I can get a Millennium Falcon. I'm gonna buy it anyways at some point, just on a reasonable schedule. One a year is what I do, but just going back to that original question, I think it's, look, at the end of the day, like you're going to invest if you're smart about it. You want your money working for you at the end of the day. Invest it all immediately. Paying off debt does matter, but I think you can be smart with it. Most people probably aren't $1 million worth in debt, so paying it off is a smart move. If you have a small amount of debt, I think that makes sense. The whole quit your job and travel, I think it depends on age. One of the other things I would do is I'd probably, just take one extra trip a year, something like that. We were talking about Europe and wanted to get back into Paris. I think it does make a lot of sense. But I should have got back into Google. I have a little bit of FOMO here. Google didn't work out. Now, it looks like it shouldn't have been that bad, but remember, I had a failed breakout trade, and breakout trades to me, most of the time, like an early breakout trade, I'm looking for it to be the one. So you get the dip buys off VWAP and not off your big monster levels, and those will never be for as many shares. It's just a clean breakout trade. It's like it works or it doesn't, and you're looking for that initial push. So I'll be red on Google, but I could have had this. It showed you a pretty good trend breakdown here. And that's usually something that I would like, that trend break. But it's back above 196, so that means I'm looking for the long again. It's got to find a way to pick this one up. Maybe I like VWAP in here. Maybe we'll look at that 96 level. This stock looking very, very strong. We're talking about earnings, but they've already reported. And not only did they report, they had a great quarter for Alphabet. On top of it, they got a million levers that they can pull. And really, it's breaking out the top of this channel. Not just holding the top of this channel, it's breaking out the top of this channel on Google. And we were joking about who gets to $200 first between AMD and NVIDIA. Well, it's not even a contest. Alphabet's going to be there. Heck, if Meta even has decent earnings tonight, it might get there tonight on sympathy, really, because it'll move when Meta moves. Certainly by next week or the end of the week. It just seems like we're primed to get to those highs on Alphabet. I do like the stock. Just got to find a way to get that dip buy. Should have been in on that trend break at 195 down here, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. These flies are, I got one today, but I just whiffed on that one. No, but there's a bigger one. The small ones are easy. There's a bigger one that we got to get, and it's been flying around here, and we're gonna get that fly. But PayPal tried the reload here, and PayPal didn't quite get to the volume-weighted average price. So the first trend break, yes. Tried to break trend again here on a higher low. Now I got to wait for the absolute bottom over in PayPal. Bit of a dead cat bounce play for me. That's what I like to see when it can hold that 70 level. But if it's going to lose this higher low, I'll wait for it to make another run at the low of the day to take another shot.
Like I have next week's lunch menu, but I don't have this week.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
All right, so we'll have to skip on that unless we can somehow find it. All right, so I think the missed trade for me today is going to be SoFi. And again, thanks everybody for joining. SoFi's at the high of the day right now. But some of the stories to talk about here, of course, we had a good GDP, 3% there. Good, you found it. So we will be doing this pretty soon there. Apple, I think, is an interesting name today to look at as it's down to 210. I think there's something there. The story today is Fed rates. Right now, they are expected to hold the rate steady at 4.5. Canada did the same thing at 2 3/4. So right here, Canada, much lower right now overnight lending rate than the Bank of Canada has a much lower rate than the Fed over there in the United States. So 4.5 versus 2.75. Here in Canada, that begins at 2 p.m. So join us all back here at at 2 p.m. as we will obviously be trading pretty aggressively some of those plays if they do come through. It's one of those things where you don't need to force action. We're just going to wait to see what Fed Chair Powell says, what he's all about, and go from there, right? And that's why I looked at Apple. That's a pretty good mover with Fed Day. I mean, so is the Nasdaq or the TQs, obviously, as we go right there. But I don't think the tone of the meeting is going to be that aggressive, but that's what everyone's going to be waiting for. How does Powell talk? We had mentioned before, too, the chance of rate cut happening in September and then moving forward, and also the fact that there would be some dissents today as well. So we're going to find out that number. What is the Fed? 13 members?
Somebody's not voting today.
There are 19 members, 12 voting members. I have an infographic on it. I'll show when we do Money Talks in a couple minutes.
Okay, perfect. So that is 12.
There's only 11 votes today because somebody, I forget which one, but somebody was
busy.
I don't know, maybe they're busy or whatever it might be. But 2 dissents, man.
I made that up, the busy part, because, like, honestly, if that's your job, you should be ready to go.
I would suspect if a Fed member is abstaining from a vote, you kind of hope that it's not the first thing that comes to mind, which is like a family thing. You hope.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm just joking.
For the Fed, my guess is like you.
I was just thinking, like, this day's been on that. Literally every day is in the calendar. So
if I'm a Fed member, something serious has happened if I'm not voting.
You should get your ish together.
So you really hope it's not that.
Nice bounce back there. Yeah, so that's what's happening there today. And then, of course, tonight we've got Microsoft and we've got Meta. And, of course, with 85% of the S&P beating so far, the odds are that those guys beat as well, looking for 14+% revenue growth on some of those names, right? The July rally continues in the Nasdaq. I mean, this has just been held out by a great report from Google. Google, I mean, it's been up and down from their report, but, you know, at the end of the day, we thought that it was a good one, and I think Google has more highs. Like, this is what the market looks like right now. It's pretty insane off of that buy from Donald Trump down there, told everybody get in there and start buying everything up. I mean, that was down here in the 430 angle, and you could see what we're doing right now. It's a great move upside in this market, actually parabolic almost for a market. So we had Michael Noss talking a little bit about that with us about that over on Monday and how this high and can keep on going, and probably a dip buy opportunity existing right now for traders of the Nasdaq. But yeah, so that's going to be something to talk about that we're going to go. The exuberance continues to build. You could hedge out with VIX and things like that, but for right now, man, the market seems really hot. NVIDIA high of the day again now. Still, look at this NVIDIA trade. We're now almost $3. Sorry. 179, 177, $2 now in the money on NVIDIA. MRVL's trying to go as well. The space is hot, and AI names continue to be those plays as well. SoundHound and Big Bear AI and C3 AI, these are the names that are downside. They don't make any money. It's the companies that are making money right now that are making money. And that's AMD, NVIDIA, MRVL, all these big chip names continue to be really successful. And I just think if you're playing themes and trends, that's been hot for a while. We talked about quantum, we talked about uranium, the chip names, healthcare, like there's been some names that have been pretty hot. Crypto
healthcare is a different story.
Healthcare is a different story. I meant to go the other way with healthcare. And that name continues to get faded as well. UNH, right? I mean, again, just play the direction. Unfortunately, UNH has stories around it that maybe created the first move down. But since then, man, UNH has not had good earnings. They cut guidance. And look at that, 6 bills. Unfortunately, we know I'm not going to say the guy's name, but we did have an issue there. And then boom, to the downside goes UNH right back into those lows again. So play the momentum again. All right, it's 10:50 right now. Neil, what's on your mind here?
Well, the thing that's on my mind, it's still pretty
the
much
Millennium
the same.
Falcon, or?
No, well, VWAP, SMCI, VWAP, Alphabet. At this time of day,
Money talks.
I'm always sort of focused on what's the next trade. And typically speaking, I don't want anything breaking the high at lunchtime. I want to get something off a support level. So I'm looking at 195.5 on Alphabet if we come back. SMCI is holding higher, but I don't love the downward trend that it's been in. SMCI moves a lot relative to the other chip names, right? On a percentage basis. So you know if you get it, it can absolutely explode. Like you get $1 faster because it's a $60 stock as well. But this downward channel has it on a collision course with the volume weighted average price. I wanted to maybe hold this channel into VWAP and then break it out to the upside. We do have to get to the desk for Sector Watch. When we come back, we are able to do what's for lunch because I did find it.
Oh, good.
I mentioned yesterday that the next step up here for the DXY would be breaking that previous, I guess, resistance level coming around 99.40. Guess what, guys? We did it. That's right. The US dollar has made in the last 2 days 2 higher highs, or I guess like cleared 2 previous levels of resistance. Not at all a bad look for the US dollar. Not only that, we've also made a clear higher low for the first time in quite some time. So DXY could be in a bit of a turnaround. This is its 5th straight day to the upside. I think it's also worth it to take a look at the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. This is its 5th straight red session here. CAD, USD definitely trying to break some of that uptrend we've had as of late. We do have some comments coming through from members of the Bank of Canada after they had their rate decision this morning. Governor Macklem of the Bank of Canada saying that they need to set policies that consider and I guess implement and involve the risk of tariffs. So tariffs certainly on watch here for the BOC. CAD to USD pretty weak. Now, as I kind of teased earlier, here is my infographic. This is every single member of the Fed. And I want to mention here, so we have 12 Fed members voting at every meeting. Sometimes we'll see 11 members voting. That's because Powell votes at every meeting. So Powell will always be voting. The other 11 members switch around. Now, as Sharif talked about there, it was just mentioned a bit earlier, there are 2 possible or people who are being viewed as potentially going to be voting in against this decision to hold rate steady. Those are Michelle Bowman, who is the vice chair of supervision, actually appointed for that position by Donald Trump. The other one is Fed's Christopher Waller. These 2 are both viewed as the potential votes that would be the first 2 governor dissension for the Fed in quite some time, and B, they would be actually voting to cut here because we know they've both expressed interest in potentially cutting. That was made clear both in statements they've made and in the last FOMC minutes. Now, it's been made pretty clear they said that would obviously depend on different factors like economic data, so it's unclear if they'll hold steady to what they've said, but either way, Michelle Bowman and Christopher Waller could provide a bit of a wild card here for this Fed meeting. Check this out, infographic out on X at TTV Research. I'll be reposting a whole bunch of Fed-related infographics, including my Fed Powell tie analysis throughout the day. Back to you.
Yeah, we're looking for purple again.
It's all about the purple.
It is. It
right?
is very yes. That's supposed to be politically neutral and all that. I said if he comes out with a red tie, then expect many rate cuts coming because red, of course, would be the Republican sort of color, and if it comes blue, then no, I don't believe in any of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's Adara has some graphics, so. Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those fun things that Adara's gonna keep showing us, and then Powell's talked about it. So yeah, fun times over there.
The more obviously the more important thing is when he hits that podium, get
it, J-Rome.
That's what it's all about. We can do what's for lunch, everybody. So you can hit the graphic if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, you tell him, Neil.
Let's do it. I don't know today.
What?
Because this go either way.
What's it saying?
We got a little beef stir fry.
Boom.
And we've got quinoa.
I like.
Charred Brussels sprouts with red peppers.
The Brussels sprouts aren't coming.
What?
I got an email this morning. It's cauliflower instead.
Oh, so it's cauliflower instead of the Brussels sprouts. So that's a slight bump, I think, because cauliflower is better than Brussels sprouts. But that's my opinion. Anyway.
Oh, it might have been cauliflower and broccoli, though. But I know you don't like broccoli.
That's not even.
I know.
Oh, come on. No, it's not.
No. I'm going to get it for you. Keep going.
No, you made that up.
I didn't.
No, the mixed green salad as well. So that's what lunch is. I think. Look, I don't mind the beef stir fry, but as long as we don't get those Brussels sprouts, I will be a happy camper. And you're just making up that about broccoli. I don't like broccoli all that much. And we're all Darwin the Trader. We're always missing a few apple fritters every single time. Where did you even see that? I got no email saying we're not getting the sprouts.
I did get one. I have to find it today. That's the thing. I often have problems finding things with Gmail. I don't know. Like they either go into the trash or they go somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I'll get it for everybody.
You search. We know who it's coming from. So
that's right. That's right. I know who it's coming from.
Not that we're gonna out.
You didn't get that this morning?
I don't think so.
Today. Okay, well, whatever. I'll find it anyways. It doesn't matter. Okay, just real quickly here before we let you guys get out of here and over to the midday show, make sure you do join Joe, Sharif, Adara, also obviously there on the mid. NVIDIA and AMD both at highs today. We like that. Starbucks back into the dollar club as well as that's moving around. NVIDIA is doing its own thing, as is MRVL. So again, like all of these names, like these stocks, let's see if we can keep on going. Netflix, what's everybody watching on Netflix right now? I know we have Happy Gilmore. I know that's been pretty popular as well. But at the end of the day, Netflix right now getting beat up a little bit. And I think this is something that you want to look to buy. The two names that I'm going to be buying, I just bought PanW today because, again, I really, really love Palo Alto. It's a best of breed name, and it's a name that I can't get in. Oh, boom, right there. We bought it at 180, and we talked about buying it at 180. We actually looked at it when it was down at 178, and I was like, what have I done? I should have bought more. But now it's at 182.50, so we definitely like that dip buy there. And the other one that I think is another best of breed name that I don't think you can go wrong with would be Costco. I really like this name, and I should have potentially should have gone, okay. I was gonna say, maybe I should buy some Costco. And again, maybe this could be an infographic or something as well, because, you know, when's the last time, like Costco, this is a pretty dramatic move. Like that's off of 1,000 right there. We tried to break through $1,000. Now we've had pretty much like, let's call it like 10 or 12 down days there, scattered with a couple up days in there, but those up days can't even tell where they were. That one in the last 2 weeks there was covered up the very next day, and there it goes, downside for Costco. So I do believe there's some buying opportunities in this retail giant. So we also looked at Walmart wasn't the greatest looking chart either, but I think a little healthier right now than Costco. So I don't really know exactly what's up with Costco, and I think there's some more work to be done there, but
this is the first.
That's a stock I like.
Last week was the first week that it closed underneath the 50-period moving average on Costco since, like, what's that? Like April of 2023. That's a heck of a run. So this is probably going to get into those levels. I just feel like I'd be a buyer if I wasn't a Walmart guy. So I try to pick one, to the best extent I can. Like sometimes you don't want to have everything in a sector. You just want to pick one that you like the best, and they're both good companies. Shout out to ST. Thank you for the super chat. Fun fact, I did not know this fact.
What was it?
You learn something every day. Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, kohlrabi, mustard, cabbage are all the same exact plant. They're as different as breeds of dog. I did not know that. The way that I'm going to interpret that is, good. That just means I can eat the ones that I like. I love mustard. I like cabbage. Cauliflower, I don't mind. Depends on how you do it. So I can just have those, and I don't have to worry about broccoli and Brussels sprouts because I'm covered because it's all the same thing. That's what I'm going to take from that, regardless of whether that's true. They probably have different amounts of vitamins and nutrients and all that, but you know, I'll interpret it the way that
yeah, I'm not sure.
how
could they be the same plant?
They're not this. No, but maybe they're just like related. And
I don't know. Oh, no, man.
I was a math guy. Everyone in our high school group knows that if it's anything science related, like, oh goodness, I hated biology.
Yeah, I'm not a big science.
Hated biology. That was like my nerd card revoked.
Just more of a
how much
trader.
I hated biology, but not that it matters. But ultimately, we haven't talked about one name today. Before we get to
Tesla
11 o'clock.
tanking.
I was about to say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We can't go the entire morning show without bringing up Tesla. As the market goes higher and the chips go higher, Tesla once again is in the doldrums, red on the day and falling. But we do like the 316 level, not Austin. But we do like the 316 level from the other day. We do like Austin as well.
Austin
we get down there into 316. That could be a nice little bounce spot. There was a huge buyer right around that level going back a couple of days. That's a bad wick. It really did. It did hold 316 bucks. That candle did not happen. So we get a couple dollars down. I'd look to catch a bit of a bid here on Tesla, once again bucking the trend of the market.
All right, with no time left, man, thank you for joining us. I still have AMD, MRVL, NVIDIA, and StarBucks, so it's been kind of a lot of the same there for me today. Missed trade on StarBucks, but these guys aren't going to miss any trades, and if they do, they'll be covering it with the super chats, with the the chat that's going on there. And of course, you don't need to super chat. Make sure you do tag Sharif and Joe. Let them know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
And it's the midday show. Me and this guy will be back near 2 p.m., so join us then.
Little
yeah, for Fed. And they'll be talking all about the Fed during the midday. Some small cap runners as well. Bitcoin, Joe's back in the building. He's talking all about Ethereum. And of course, when Joe comes back, Bitcoin's up $1,000 here. Was 117 and change. Now we're at 118.7. All right, that's Neil. I'm Sean. Thanks to Dara for everything today. Thanks, Andre, Fabian. Did Ramin? Is she in here today? I didn't see her. She's here today. Thanks to Ramin for everything she's doing again. And we'll check you guys in just a couple minutes or a couple hours, 2 p.m. But right now, it's the big guys. It's the midday show. See you then.
See you guys.